Good afternoon and welcome, everybody. This would be the Jeff Cameron Show right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Great to be with you. Hope you're well on this Balls McWednesday. I'm Jeff, that's Tom. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming free always. If you miss anything, go get caught up at your leisure because we'll post all 3 hours both to iTunes and in our own audio vault upon the conclusion of the show. You can always email me if you like. It's jcs@979espnradio.com. jcs@979espnradio.com. I got some catching up to do on some of that, on some of those emails. We'll get there. Want to watch us perform our radio duties, do the program, if you will, go to YouTube, type in ESPN Tallahassee. You'll be able to find us there. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you're well. And Periscope, too, on Twitter at 979 ESPN Radio. If you follow that, you can Periscope the show. And finally, some of you have trouble listening to the program in the classic manner with which we listen to things in the car, stereo, the radio. Sometimes we, unfortunately, suffer from tropos, as it's known in the business. And when that happens, you think, well, damn it, man, this is really annoying. I'm trying to hear what Jeff is saying. And it keeps going. But if you use the WTSM app, you wouldn't have to worry about it. You'd be all set. The WTSM app allows you to stream the show as well without any interference whatsoever. Do I have an update over there out of you? What's the update? Anything? Good? Bad news? Good news?
Some bad news. Working on it right now.
Oh, is it really? Arkansas birdied?
Oh, I thought you were asking about something else. No, Arkansas is tied, but I think they have the tiebreaker currently at the region, the Norman region.
Oh, okay. So right now we're not online? Is that what you're going to tell me is the bad news?
It may not be on terrestrial air, Jeff, at the moment.
Okay, so we're only on.
So YouTubers are definitely getting a show today
right,
at the
YouTubers,
moment. Yeah, so what's up, YouTubers?
Yes, so nobody else can hear us, although I would think that...
What's interesting is all signs are normal everywhere. So that's where I'm exploring.
Are you double-checking the app as we get going
I'm
here?
double-checking everything.
All right. Well, I will say this. I begin the show on Pins and Needles. I was asking Tom just a moment ago about Arkansas. Florida State is participating in the regional out in Norman, FSU Golf, and you got to finish in the top 5 to move on, and they're 5th currently. So, and I think they're tied for 5th at that. So it is nip and tuck coming down the stretch. Speaking of which, tomorrow begins the end of the season series for Florida State baseball, and as they get set to take on NC State, which, oh, by the way, good baseball team. This is an important series. Outside chance Florida State could host. And you want to look at those RPIs as it sits right now before you take on NC State. Florida State is on the outside looking in, but barely, sitting at number 10. NC State, meanwhile, is number 16. So an important series for both teams. But one might hope, certainly cross their fingers, that if you are to sweep a series like that and are in contention for a top 8 national seed, even if you're not 8, 7, but rather 9, you might get that bid over, say, Stetson, somebody like that. But you got to give yourself a chance, and that means winning this weekend series.
At minimum, yeah, I think sweep would be preferable here, given coming up short against Clemson. And then you can't guarantee what your round-robin play is going to look like in the ACC tournament as well, who you get to face, because that can provide you an opportunity if you get to face a Clemson again, but you just don't know how the seeding is going to work out there.
Keep you updated on the aforementioned situation in Norman, Oklahoma. A ton of day baseball going on as well. I'll throw some scores around in a little bit. Did you watch the basketball last night at all? I know our Lightning were playing. I know that the Lightning came out and took care of business on the road, looked as good as they have, certainly in this series, much better than they have at any point in this series, and got well, let's just say it, an absolutely a kind of a must-win situation. You're not going to go down 3-0. And come back and win that series. So now it's a series. Deep breath. See what happens this next one, but it's a series.
Well, yeah, you had to remind them that, we've got a little something to us, too. As you talked about last series, across the board in the NHL, it doesn't matter where you play, home or on the road.
Road teams win all the time.
And I believe it when they say this. The pressure's on Washington in Game 4, and there's no doubt about that.
Yeah, you don't want to undo the good that came from going on the road and taking out the 2 games in a row in their building.
Right.
But, again, one thing that's weird about hockey, and I like it and I don't, I mean, I love the sport. But postseason hockey is fascinating to me. The intensity is beautiful. It's a lot of fun, but it's not like basketball where a home court is a big deal. Boston's home court is a big deal. I'll touch on that series in milliseconds. But there is no momentum in the NHL from one game to the next in the postseason. It doesn't matter. There's momentum within games.
Right. The next goal is where the momentum begins. And I think the first goal of Game 4 is going to be massive. But consider Washington's history. They're, especially this regime of players, the core players, they're considered to be choke artists. So here you are in front of your home crowd, and you can feel it. It's like when Florida State is in a big game, third, fourth quarter, and NC State's hanging around, or whoever it is.
You're like, I've seen how this act plays out.
In a way, you almost want to be on the road in that moment because the fact that the crowd is on pins and needles, you feed off of it in a negative way. Whereas when they're rowdy, you feed off of them in a positive way. But if you can feel the nervous energy in the building, well, if you're the home team,
it's a weight.
It's a weight to bear, and then the away team feeds off.
Oh,
of
they're
that.
like, this is beautiful.
And
shut these people up the rest of the night.
There's no doubt during the national anthem tomorrow night, it's going to be a nervous building after that, and Tampa should be able to feed off of that. We'll see. The first goal matters greatly, and then that momentum changes. After that, but Tampa is in a good spot here with blood in the water.
All right, so let's bring it back local. Willie Taggart has come out and said what we knew he probably would, and it is echoing a sentiment that Jimbo Fisher used to bring up with regularity. A familiar refrain indeed. However, timing is everything, and how you say it and when you say it matters. And this would be the right time for a coach who wants something to answer a question when asked about it and be brutally honest and be blunt. It is the off season. It is the time in which you can ask and talk about these things openly and not feel a recoil from a fan base, but rather intrigue and further investigation. Quote, we need an upgrade big time. I just don't think we need to Band-Aid anything anymore. Do it right. Do what's best for Florida State University. We can't get behind, that's for sure, and nobody's stopping. They're all moving forward. Clemson's in our conference, and Miami is doing their facility as well, said Taggart. It's much needed. Where we are now, it's not efficient. That's probably one of the bigger issues. It's not only outdated, but there's no efficiency on how you can get things done. You see schools who've done it, and they're doing pretty well. A lot of our competitors are doing it as well. We're at Florida State University. We want what's best for our kids. We want to win championships. We've got to make sure our guys have what they need in order to do that. Well, first of all, the tack there is spot on. It's the right way to go about asking for a football-only facility. It's not denigrating anybody. It's not poo-pooing what has already been given or gifted or donated. It is not ignoring the contributions, both physical and monetary, of others that came before. It is simply stating that he, like you, loves Florida State University and wants its student athletes to have the best chance to succeed and win championships. That's the right call. It's the right way to say it. It's the right way to phrase it. It's the right way to go about lobbying for it. He was asked a question over at Amelia Island, where these meetings take place this time of year every year. FSU, by the way, for their part, has commissioned a feasibility study, which is produced by a group called Populous, and that is an architectural firm that specializes in sports facilities. My guess is they're very wealthy individuals.
Probably just a couple of bucks.
Few bucks here and there, right?
How do you come to a rate? Oh, you would like us to commission a study. What's the rate card for that?
I don't know. You could ask them. Look them up. Call them. While there are some university officials who would prefer the idea of revamping the Morris Center, we've heard from them. I talked to Stan Wilcox before the start of last season's disaster, and he certainly sounded like a guy that was inclined to, at the very least, explore all possibilities, and that included the refurbishing of the Morris Center. What we're hearing now, though, is a head coach saying, yeah, don't do that. Don't put a Band-Aid on this thing. Don't try to spruce it up a little bit. We're Florida State, damn it. We can't continue to fall behind. I need a football-only standalone facility. As he put it, that's Band-Aiding it. If you just refurbish and improve the Morris Center, it's like, what are we doing? We're Florida State. Me, personally, I don't think that's the best thing to do. That's kind of what we've been doing for the longest time. Again, you can do all that. It's just not efficient. I don't want a Band-Aid. I want to do what's right for the future of the Florida State University football program. I do know that it needs to be done, and we've got to figure out a way to get it done somehow, some way. I'm also sure we'll get to a consensus. All right, so there's a guy conceding that he is not the final say in the matter and that he's got to work with others and find a way to make this happen. This is not contentious. Not everything has to be so damn laborious. Everything felt like pulling teeth, from getting a first down to asking for facilities.
Or running a play. Yeah.
It doesn't have to be that way. I mean, I would guess that most people share a vision and a passion for Florida State football and Florida State athletics moving forward. It's a matter of how to raise the money. It's a matter of who you're asking. It's a matter of the order. It's a matter of having a vision.
In a way, you're never going to be more powerful than you are right now. You're never going to have the leverage that you do right now.
Yeah, it's funny. The next time you may have a chance to wield the bully pulpit or stick, if you like, would be if you win a championship. When Jimbo won the national championship in 2013, I thought that was the time to come in and say, I want the world, whether for myself or the program, preferably the program. I want this, 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 and this. You come off a national championship, there is a buzz. Everybody's high with power and enthusiasm and a lust for more success and money. And certainly the fan base is always buoyed, invigorated by such accomplishments. So right now, when you're first named and people are starving and dying to see improvements in the program, you're right, it's the right time to ask. And then maybe if you have some success in the very near future and win a championship or something like that, you could come back and ask for even more.
Well, if you win 10 games this year, you beat Clemson or something like that. You go to the ACC title game, maybe, not a college football playoff, but you register a couple of big wins on the way to a double-digit regular season win total.
Yeah.
I mean, you haven't. All you've done is exceed expectations.
Sweep
so
your rivals again. Do something like that. Like get back to sweeping your
rivals.
Right,
and you got another top 5 recruiting class, coming in.
Momentum.
Yeah.
A lot of momentum. Hopefully that gets done. Let's cross our fingers that indeed it does. But, yeah, it's the right time to ask. It's not during a call-in show after a loss. That's not what you do.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag Sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings, or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag Savings.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
9007. Again, sign up today at easylaundry.net. Oh, and by the way, I got you. Use promo code JCS20 and save 20%. That's promo code JCS20. You're saving 20% on your first order. That's easylaundry.net from Wash Around the Clock.
Do you work in construction, photography, or real estate and use a drone for your job? Did you know that the FAA requires you to be licensed? That's right. All commercial use drone operators have to be a Part 107 license. Have questions? Contact the drone experts at TCC's Wakulla Environmental Institute. Go to tcc.fl.edu and search drones or call 850-558-3500. That's 850-558-3500. Remember, the FAA requires all commercial use drone operators to be licensed.
An eager young FSU marketing major came into Poor Paul's the other day and told me what a genius he thought I was for having such great specials, like the free ladies' drinks on Tuesday nights, the free Gumby's pizza and $4.95 pitchers on Sunday and Monday night, and the cheapest prices in town every other night. And not to mention all the free beer people wouldn't spin in the Wheel of Fortune. He asked me if I'd studied marketing, and I told him I had, but what I didn't tell the poor guy was that in 4 years, I didn't learn a damn thing in any of my classes. Most of my business philosophy came from observing a girl named Bunny who lived across from me and was, let's say, working her way through school. You see, Bunny had a great service, sold it at rock-bottom prices with a smile, and had hundreds of happy customers. And aside from that little red light in her window, all her advertising was simply word of mouth. So I didn't see the need for all those charts and graphs and formulas. I knew all I needed to be successful were the Bunny marketing methods. Sell really good stuff, cheap, with a smile. And that's why, just like at Bunny's, there's always a big crowd at Poor Paul's wanting to spend their money. And that's why that poor kid thought I was so smart. Who's your buddy?
Here, do you need headsets?
I don't need no stinking headsets.
Well, then go. Come on, man.
All right. Hi there, Tallahassee. You know me. This is Eddie. You know, I have other restaurants in this town, Gordo's, Banditos. Well, I opened up something new. It's called Bumpa's Local 349. You may ask, what is Bumpa's Local 349? It was named after my grandfather. Bumpa. It's what we called him. Best man I ever knew. And the Local 349 was his union. And I try to bring this local flavor, this local flair of Tallahassee. I want to bring it to you, locally owned and operated. Warm, good food.
Good Lord, man, we're getting all weepy up in here. It's a cool sports pub. It's got TVs everywhere. You got every package. You got a gazillion kinds of beers and delicious food and a deck. We don't need to weep up in here. Come on, Eddie.
And we have 16 local Florida taps. Great craft beer just for you. And the best bologna sandwich you'll ever eat. It's like you just won the lotto. As Bumpa said, no matter how you cut it, it's still bologna.
Bumpa's Local 349, 2738 Capitol Circle Northeast.
Shot, save, rebound, score! The playoffs are here. The Corner Pocket is your home all spring long for all the heart-pounding moments in the NBA and Stanley Cup playoffs.
It's held in a shot, save, rebound,
score! The Corner Pocket on Appalachia Parkway next to Earth Fair is your headquarters for Trivia Tuesdays, Beer Bingo Thursdays, and of course, all the moments you'll never forget.
For the championship!
The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill, 2475 Appalachia Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Barry knows cool. He's keeping you comfortable. Barry knows cool. You can put him to the test.
Turn up the savings and be comfortable this spring when you turn to the experts at Carrier and Barano Heating and Air. Get $1,200 in cool cash rebates when you purchase a select Carrier system and get up to 60 months no interest on all purchases. Learn more at BaranoAC.com.
Barano Heating and Air Conditioning.
Florida license CAC 057652.
You know what? It's time you level up your lemon lime with new, clear, refreshing Mountain Dew Ice. Why settle for this when you could have this? You want a fist bump that ends in one of those fake explosions?
Hey, Charles.
Or a fist bump that ends in an actual explosion?
Hey, Charles.
Want to pull up to the party on this? Or arrive in this? Make this musical request? Or this one? So yeah, you can keep drinking the same old, but we think you'll like the exploding fist bump, showing up to the party properly way to lemon lime, right? Mountain Dew Ice. Clear, refreshing lemon lime, redefined.
You're locked in with the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Good balls McWednesday to you and yours. Freaking Robinson Cano, man. How dumb do you have to be, baby? Why? Your career, your Hall of Fame career is in the books. You'd gotten away with it. I'm going to presume that this isn't the first time he's ever used performance-enhancing drugs to enhance, obviously, his performance. This just being the first time he's ever been caught. So if you have a career that has been as solid to spectacular as his, you get this far along, I got to believe that you start laying off. But that's a a lot about what this is in reality. You know, there are debates. Exercise physiologists and so forth can have these debates about what a steroid does to you as a major league hitter, or what a performance-enhancing drug does for a pitcher or a hitter in the game. What it can and can't do is debated all the time, whether it's bat speed or anything else. But what is not debated ever is the amount of confidence derived from a player who is on something that enhances his performance, because they know more than any observer could ever know exactly what that does and how that makes them feel. They know when they're not on it what they're able to do, and they know right away when they are on it how much different they feel and what the ball does, etc. And you know that. Everybody knows that. If you ever if you grew up when I did, by the time you went off to college, creatine was a thing. I took creatine. People still take creatine. It's legal. It's perfectly legal. But when creatine came out, it's a workout supplement. They would give it to us when I was at ETSU. They give it to football players everywhere. Guys who work out a ton use it now. And again, you just got to drink a ton of water. That was always the thing. Got to drink a ton of water to help it pass through your system.
Right.
You actually can feel a noticeable difference in your level of strength. You can feel that. I took it. I know what that feels like. It's awesome. And when you feel that, you know what that does for you, whether that's swinging a bat, picking up a weight, making a tackle, whatever it might be. You know, you can feel the impact of that. And I would guess that a guy like Robinson Cano, who's on performance-enhancing drugs, or anybody else for that matter, last year my guy, Starling Marte, stand in that batter's box with a little extra something, a little bit more of a belief. And that is really hard to quantify. Exactly what that means over the course of a season, over the course of a career.
Impossible to quantify, but one thing that's worth putting out there, because there's a lot of misinformation or incomplete information in regards to this particular story. I see a lot of reports of the diuretic that popped up on the test and Robinson Cano's statement. And the idea that some people believe that you can be banned from baseball. You can, fail this protocol just for simply taking the diuretic. No, it's not that way.
No, it's a masking agent.
It's a masking agent, but it's not just the masking agent. MLB has to be able to prove through its testing that it's masking something. They can't just say, well, that's a known masking agent. Here's an 80-game ban. It's not that simple. There has to be an extra step. It's the burden of proof, like, guilty. You got to prove it, beyond reasonable doubt. And so Major League Baseball has to be able to prove what it's masking. So when Robinson Cano says, I didn't know anything about this, this was a diuretic that's used in both the United States and the Dominican Republic, which he's going to do.
He already did.
A lot of people look at that and they say, well, why would the MLB ban, somebody 80 games just for taking a masking agent by itself? They don't know what it was masking. Yes, they do. Major League Baseball does, and he had appealed, and he finally dropped the appeal yesterday.
Well, also, just on the basis of what you're putting into your body and not putting into your body, Major League Baseball has gone out of their way to ensure that its players, its employees, know what you can and cannot put in your body. So you can't even fall back on I was given a diuretic by a doctor and I didn't know that it was on the banned substance list. Well, you know how easy it is to find out? You go to your club and say, can I take this? And the doctor says no or yes. Or people who are in charge of this sort of thing will pull out the guide, if you will, and say, that's on the banned list, can't take it.
But here's what you can take instead.
Instead. That's exactly right. In fact, every really knowledgeable reporter on this subject has talked about when players say things like, recently, and I'm reading from Cano's statement, I learned that I tested positive for a substance called furosemide. I'm probably saying
furosemide sounds right.
Furosemide, which is not a performance-enhancing substance, Cano said. Furosemide is used to treat various medical conditions in the United States and the Dominican Republic. This substance was given to me by a licensed doctor in the Dominican Republic to treat a medical ailment. While I did not realize at the time I was given a medication that was banned, I obviously now wish that I had been more careful. For more than 15 years, playing professional baseball has been the greatest honor and privilege of my life. I would never do anything to cheat the rules of the game that I love. And after undergoing dozens of drug tests over more than a decade, I have never tested positive for a performance-enhancing substance for the simple reason that I've never taken one. Today, I decided to accept MLB suspension. This was the most difficult decision I've ever made, but ultimately the right decision given that I do not dispute that I was given this substance. Man, get the hell out of here with that. No. You know, nobody accidentally takes this masking agent. They don't. And he's also not naming the ailment because there wasn't an ailment. He's not taking this for an ailment. He's taking this because he's masking whatever steroid he was on.
It's just important to know that MLB has to prove that it's masking something. They can't just say, well, that's a masking agent. That's not good enough. So when a player says something like this, MLB has approached the player with the evidence of what the hell they took. And in this instance, according to TJ Quinn from Outside the Lines, he tested positive before the season began. And this appeal has been raging on for weeks.
This is what happened last year to Starling Marte. The exact same thing. The season started. He got off to a good start. And, you know, he's one of the Pirates' best players, one of the best outfitters in the National League. He's, you know, the guy I'm hanging my hopes on, right? And then it's announced that he's going to be suspended for 80 games. And he said some nonsense about accidentally taking something when he was working out in the offseason in the Dominican Republic. Get the hell out of here with that. No, nobody believes that because it's just not true. Just take responsibility. That drives me nuts with these guys. You don't accidentally take a known masking agent, this diuretic. You don't. And if you're uncertain, I mean, think about this. Your livelihood is your body. The ability to sustain your body and to treat it like a temple, right? To be in shape, to get enough rest, to work exceedingly hard so that you can make millions of dollars and perform at your peak. You are never going to tell me these guys don't know what they're putting in their body. There are accidents. I understand that if you go to GNC and you buy a protein powder or something, that maybe that in the past something's happened where something was in that powder and you got the okay on the powder from your doctor and you took it and then you tested positive. Maybe that's happened. I doubt it. Maybe, though. I'll grant you that new things come out all the time. And maybe these guys go to a store, a reputable store, and they buy it, and then they get popped, and they say, hey, but I was taking it. Well, it's on the list. Maybe. But 9 times out of 10, 99 out of 100 guys know exactly what they're putting into their bodies at all times because it's their livelihood. I know your headphones, you know where they are. You know how they sound.
Sure.
And you know exactly what you like and don't like about them because it's the tools of what you operate with every day. It matters to you. It affects the way we converse. We do a talk show. You know that equipment in there inside and out.
Yeah.
It's what you deal with every day.
If you have a planner, right, and you work in sales, you work in whatever it is, management, and you have a planner, that would be like drawing inappropriate pictures in your planner. And you pull it out for, in the meeting.
I had no idea.
Well, next Wednesday, let's see what happens. We can do. Oh, my. Oh, I'm so sorry.
That. That's terrible.
Somebody else, not me, drew that in my planner.
Pornographic in my planner.
Yeah.
That's the most unfortunate. Never meant for that to happen. Let's turn the page.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Didn't mean to alarm you.
The way I saw it reported was it was his statement and not the straight fact that TJ Quinn took to Twitter with, which is, and he'll double, check everything before he even tweets, let alone put something in print. And he says, guys, MLB has to be able to prove it's more than just a masking agent.
Right.
They got to know that something was behind that masking agent. And if they can't prove it, the guy skates. So there's something here. What he's telling you is patently false.
Yes, it is. And I cracked up laughing. Verlander last night tweeted his second it came out that he had been popped, that Cano had been popped. He just tweeted out, and excuse coming in 3, 2, 1. He knew exactly what was about to happen. It's from that playbook. It's from the guys who get caught every offseason's playbook to say, oh, I unknowingly took a substance. Man, it's just, I don't think it happens. I don't think it happens that people unknowingly take something, especially, boy, I'll tell you one thing, for all the times guys say that they unknowingly took a substance, it's amazing how it's always a substance that's going to help them perform. It's never something that caused an allergic reaction that saw them rush to the hospital because they unknowingly ingested something that they shouldn't have.
Maybe Manny Ramirez just really wanted female hormones. Could be.
It's like if I unknowingly ingest something, it's probably not going to end well for me. Oh, I must have eaten something. I feel terrible. This is awful. It's not going to make me faster. It's usually, like, what was in that taco?
Oh,
my God.
I can't put my finger on what I did today, but I feel great, so I'm just going to eat everything I did all day long and hope it happens again.
It's just crazy. I mean, it's always that it's something that allows them to kick more ass. It's never like, oh, God, something was in that soup that I ate. I feel terrible. This is really having a deleterious effect on my body.
All right, so he's going crazy to start the season right now. If you look at his slash line, it's great. Do you think he just at this point doubles and triples down because screw it, I'm appealing right now?
Well, okay, so, I don't know, but I do know this. It's a shame because he's had a Hall of Fame career. And now, he falls under that umbrella, and look, he'll probably get in someday if enough time goes by, but it absolutely sullies the career. It does. And when you hear people say, well, no. I mean, in the eyes of most baseball fans, they're going to say, I don't know how much of Robinson Cano's career is on the up and up. Career.
But what's crazy is, and the PR firm, I think, would, if you flew me out there and you said, Tom, you can handle this one, I trust you.
You could. Easily.
Here's what I'd say. Robinson, as long as you put something out there about kids these days and what they're taking, and you don't want to name names, but you've seen it, and you want to stay with the times. MLB is behind in terms of what it can test for and its technologies.
Yeah,
that you were put between a rock and a hard place. You wanted to live up to your contract. I mean, there's a million ways you could go with this.
That's right.
Rather than saying some doctor in my home country gave me something for an ailment.
Boy.
You could say, they're not doing enough in terms of testing. So I had to make a choice, and I made the choice to be most competitive for myself, to continue my career and to live up to my contract.
Right.
People could appreciate that.
Yeah, and it's BS. It's just a high level.
It's a much better brand of BS.
That's right. It's a PR agent's BS. I mean, I would look at that and laugh and go, oh, so we're a martyr. I see. Yeah, I would crack up at that, but
it would start a conversation saying, well, I mean, is it really that rampant? And then you're off the subject and you've forgotten that Robinson Cano was the thing that started the subject. And you're talking about, is this the 90s again? And you've changed the news cycle fundamentally.
It's a much better deflection than I unknowingly took a substance when I was back home in the Dominican Republic. By the way, if that's true, what are the doctors in the Dominican Republic doing? They're all driving 180 and a 70. They just don't give a damn. These players come home and they're just popping them pills left and right and
the diuretic will help you.
Yeah, I mean, what? Hey, Doc, I'm working out hard these days, and I'm trying to eat right. It's an important off season for me. I always love coming back home in the off season. Well, here, let me just give you some stuff. Well, what is it? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'm just going to give you some stuff. Here, take this. Swallow that. Let me inject this. Are you sure this is on the up and up? Absolutely. Then they get popped. What happened?
I've got tennis elbow. Yeah, you got anything for it? Yeah, diuretic.
Oh, I got a lot of things.
A diuretic will help you.
Here's a syringe. I'm just going to inject you with some stuff. Believe me, this stuff works wonders. Come see me again next week. Oh, by the way, that's $10,000. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
.979 ESPN Radio congratulates Florida High's Dylan Biro, named a Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac Springtime Standout Student Athlete. A senior leader and key contributor on Florida High's baseball team, first baseman Dylan Biro was named District Player of the Year and Florida High's Athlete of the Month, batting .398 with 19 runs scored and 18 RBI. Dylan holds a 3.8 GPA in the classroom and has an eye towards continuing his baseball career throughout college, where he holds several offers, including one from hometown school Florida A&M. As a winner of the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac Springtime Standout Student Athlete nomination, Dylan Biro is entered into the drawing for the final $2,500 end-of-the-year scholarship from our friends at Dale Jr. Congratulations to Dylan, and to check out and support our friends at Dale Jr., check them out on the corner of Capitol Circle Northeast in Miccosukee, or by visiting Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac.com.
Have you ever noticed when you report an accident or a claim to an insurance company, they are very eager to get you to one of their approved body shops? They say that they guarantee the shops work, but what they're really saying is the shop works for them, not the customer. So choose a shop that is working for and looking out for you, someone you trust. It's your choice. Lisa's Paint and Body.
License number MP46050.
How will the recent massive data breach affect you? Is your personal information at risk? If you are a Discover credit card member, there's an important action you can take to help protect yourself right now. Go online and sign up for Discover's free Social Security alerts. Once activated, we will alert you if your Social Security number is found on any one of thousands of risky websites. Learn more and sign up for free alerts at discover.com/free alerts. Limitations apply.
The Greater Tallahassee Chamber of Commerce, who's celebrating their 95th year in business this year, would like to recognize their newest members.
Hi, I'm Corey Melton, Vice President of Membership, and I'm proud on behalf of the Chamber to welcome our newest members from the month of April. A. Angel Auto Sales, Cypress Capital, 97.9 ESPN Radio, Farming the Future, Gypsia Boutique Incorporated, Handle Me With Care Foundation, Hieronymus Technologies, Monogram Art, Rebels Midtown Boutique, Tallahassee Chiropractic and Injury Clinic, and Waterstone Mortgage.
The Chamber is proud to support over 1,400 local businesses representing over 60,000 employees. For information on how your business can be a part of the Greater Tallahassee Chamber of Commerce, contact Corey Melton at 850-521-3104. Once again, contact Corey Melton at 850-521-3104.
It's not easy being a mom, but my Chrysler Pacifica makes soccer practice a little more fun. I can binge all my shows with the available Uconnect Theater, open the Stow and Go seating to grab my hidden romance novel, or just jam out to the radio.
Hey Mom, what was that song?
Huh? What song? I didn't hear a song.
Chrysler Pacifica. It's loaded with attitude. Chrysler is a registered trademark of FCA US LLC.
Save more with Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Hey Todd, Liberty Mutual just saved me $782.
Liberty did what?
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
Maybe I should switch to Liberty Mutual.
Visit us online to... Hey, stop echoing.
Sorry.
Visit us online to get a quote, and you could save $782. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Based on a recent countrywide new customer survey, coverage is underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company, Equal Housing Insurer.
Time now for your Atlanta Braves Minute. Brought to you by Fonville, Lewis, Messer, and McConaughey. Personal injury law is all they do.
Tuesday night at SunTrust Park, the Braves dropped the first of their three-game series to the Cubs by a score of 3-2. Chicago got to Mike Fulton-Nevich for a run in the fourth as Wilson Contreras doubled and later came in to score on a Kurt Suzuki throwing error. The Atlanta offense answered right back in the bottom half, though, as Ender Inciarte crushed a solo shot to right, his third in the last 4 games. Then with the game tied at 1-1 in the 8th, up stepped Ronald Acuna Jr.
Edwards coming back to Acuna. It's hit hard. Center field, deep. Almora back. It's gone! Ronald Acuna has given the Braves the lead in the bottom of the 8th inning. Straight away center field.
Jim Powell, the call you heard right here on the Braves Radio Network. That lead was short-lived, though, as the Cubs tied the game on back-to-back one-out doubles in the 9th from Albert Almora and Addison Russell and took the lead on a Ben Zobrist RBI single. Arodys Vizcaíno took the loss, suffering his second blown save of the season. Series will continue tonight in the second of 3 as Brandon McCarthy squares off against fellow right-hander Tyler Chatwood. Hear the call live from SunTrust Park right here on the Braves Radio Network. First pitch is set for 7:35 p.m. Eastern. With the Braves, I'm Kevin McAlpin for the Atlanta Braves Radio Network.
Fonville Lewis Messer McConaughey sponsors Braves baseball so that all of you can enjoy the action. Ever since the days of Hank Aaron and Dale Murphy, we've been Tallahassee's home run hitting law firm. And because we don't get paid unless we win, we want to win every case as much as Chipper Jones wanted to win every game. So when you're injured, don't just trust any law firm to handle your case. Make the call to the bullpen for a trusted closer. To see our stats on the back of our baseball card, visit wrongfullyinjured.com. Fonville Lewis Messer McConaughey. Personal injury law is all we do.
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's Balls Mick Wednesday.
Balls you fire.
Brought to you by TNT Supercenter, 14585 U.S. Highway 19, Thomasville, Georgia. Your one-stop shop for all your outdoor entertainment.
ESPN Radio. Get a really comfortable night's sleep. Do so with an outstanding pillow. It's the pillow I tell you about all the time. It's MyPillow. Go to mypillow.com. Click on the new 2-pack special they got going on. It's a 2-pack special. You enter the promo code, as always, 979ESPN, and you'll get 2 MyPillow premium pillows for one low price plus free shipping. Woo, woo. Not paying for none of that shipping. That's not how we roll. Go to mypillow.com, click on the 2-pack special, enter the promo code 979ESPN. You can always call them as well, 800-944-6596. That's 800-944-6596. Just when you do, make sure you use the promo code 979ESPN. We want credit. I want the credit for selling these pillows for the MyPillow people. You're helping a brother out. It's the right thing to do. You heard the ad here. I'm sure you've seen the TV show. You've seen the commercials, I should say. And that may be convincing. You may say, that looks like a pretty comfortable pillow, but I don't know that guy from Adam. You know me. I talk to you every day. So listen to me, not him. I'm telling you those pillows are good. And I'm saving you money. Go to mypillow.com, click on the 2-pack special, and enter the promo code 979ESPN.
Oh, it's incredible!
They are really good pillows. They are, and you get 2 of them for the price of 1 now that I'm on board. That's what I do for you. I get you hooked up. Got to hook these people
Shipping
up.
costs? What shipping costs?
We're not doing shipping costs.
No, sir.
Knowles didn't make it. They lost. Arkansas uprooted us. Bastards, pigs, have beaten us. So did Auburn.
Kind of odd that it was Arkansas, that it had to be Arkansas, right? Considering we have, wagered on their football season and their final record.
Well, one of the fun things about co-hosting the show Beyond the Tips with Florida State golf coach Trey Jones on Sirius XM PGA Tour Radio, Wednesday nights at 9 o'clock, is that I get to meet these coaches and interview these coaches all over the country, whether they're swing coaches, whether they're actual players, or if they're college golf coaches. And I've had Arkansas's coach on. I've had Oklahoma's coach on. They're all nice guys, seemingly, and certainly insightful. But you hate when one of them knocks your boy out. That hurts. Was it 6 straight years we've gone to the Nationals? Call them the National Championships.
Yeah, that's right. 6 straight years. And
that ends the streak, man. Hell of a streak. Best in Florida State history.
That's tough. I've been watching that like a hawk the last few days, so I'm in actually kind of a down place, even though I didn't get to watch it on TV, as is traditional. This is very much like 1997, trying to keep track of events. And ouch.
Beat us by 1 stroke, both Auburn and Arkansas. They tied for 4th at -3. Florida State was -2. Florida State bested Virginia by a stroke, but it doesn't matter because Florida State now is on the outside looking in. Oklahoma, BYU, North Florida with the day for the ages. That's the one that nobody saw coming. North Florida was 27th, and they go crazy today. And we're -8. BYU went -10 today. Another team that I don't think a lot of people saw coming either. So when you have 2 teams rise up and have those kinds of rounds, you're in danger. And bottom line is it was going to come down to us or Arkansas, and we didn't get it done. I really feel bad for Harry Ellis. I don't want to sit here and blame him, but he did not play his best for this team. He has been the guy that has the greatest upside on this team, is the guy that played and won the British Amateur. He played at Augusta this year, played the Masters. He's a guy that agents are lining up around the block to sign because they believe he's going to be a long-time tour player, has the game in the distance for it. But you got to believe that just served as a great distraction because he just did not play well. Of the scores that posted, his were the worst. So it's unfortunate. It happens sometimes. It's weird when an individual sport becomes a team sport. And, if a guy doesn't rise up, the future is very bright for FSU golf. I just want to say you got some kids on this team. John Pack, ladies and gentlemen, remember the name. I bring it up all the time. He's a freshman. He almost won nationally the Freshman of the Year. He is a kid who went to this event his first time ever in one of these, and he balled, for lack of a better term. He played well. That's who he is. He doesn't have a lot of distance, but he can get to the green and make birdies. And he believes when you watch him walk, you see it. It's something to behold. I'm new to this game, Tom, in terms of watching demeanor and watching the way guys handle themselves on a golf course. And being able to see something that's unique. I told Trey after that tournament that I went to, I said, I don't know who that guy is, but that's your guy. And he goes, yeah. He's a son of a bitch. I said, how'd you know that is what he asked me. I said, I was watching him. He knew he was better than everybody else out there, and he wanted you to know it. Without being a jerk, boldly walked to each shot, boldly went and got the ball out of the bottom of the cup after birding, little fist pump, walk off, let's do it again. That's who he is. And it's interesting to see that and how that translates into scores.
And you have to be yourself, though. It's like anything else in any sport. I think LeBron, for example, in the NBA playoffs,
which is where I was about to go. Good call.
He loves the spotlight, and he knows the cameras are on him at all times.
He's good at it, though.
And he acts accordingly.
Yeah.
But he's himself. If he tries to be what he isn't, remember?
When he was trying to be the bad guy, yeah.
When he was trying to be the heel when he was first with the Heat, didn't work. When he was a little bit more positive, and remember when he won the title for the first time, the big three and finished the job, everybody remarked on the joy. Look how joyful he is. He's just so happy. That's kind of the player he is. Now, if you're a jerk by nature, you got to play like a jerk. If you're Michael Jordan, right?
Oh, yeah, sinister.
Ruthless. Right. If Michael all of a sudden got some advice and said, well, you got to play happier, it wouldn't have worked for him. So same thing in golf. Got to stick to who you are. Ian Poulter is the way Ian Poulter is, and Sergio is the way he is. But then there's also a guy like Phil, who it might be fake, but he buys in all the way.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think, you gotta be yourself, but you also got to play the role. If you play the role, you got to believe you're that guy, at least for that day, in that moment, in that time. And I think Phil does a lot of that, by the way, which
Patrick
is what
Reed believes he's Captain America every 2 years, and what does he do?
Ian Poulter does too.
Yeah.
Not Captain America, but Team European.
Yeah, Captain Euro.
Can't stop him, though. The dude makes everything, and he'll yell at you about it, and there's nothing you can do. He's really good at it. It drives me nuts. You're like, he's going to make that putt?
I'm sure they're cheating somehow.
Well, you mentioned basketball, so let me bring it up. I said before the series started, Boston was going to make that an interesting series. I'm glad about being right. I did not think that I was going to sit here and tell you today that I believe Boston's going to win that series in 5, but I do. I do believe that. I don't know what more magic tricks LeBron James can find, but his teammates aren't very good. And Boston plays as a team and is extremely well coached, and they bothered to defend. So when they're having trouble scoring or they're not shooting at a high percentage and they're not as efficient offensively as they'd like to be, they stay in games because, again, they defend. And they're coached well. They'll find other ways. They'll find another way. And you see it again last night. And, I would say this, though. It's bad for the NBA. Not that Boston's going to win. It's bad that we'll see if Boston's going to win. Obviously, this third game is a big one. Cleveland will win this third game. I do believe that. It's the fourth game that they got to be worried about. If they lose that fourth game, they're going to lose that series 4-1. And that's not good for the league. Just like if Houston loses tonight, then we're talking about probably a Golden State sweep in the series that everybody wanted to see. And so you'll get a lot of foregone conclusions, and you'll get a lot of days off where there's no basketball heading into the weekend, for example. And then, moreover than that, I think everybody also knows that the dream would be over for Boston. As great a performance as that is to come out of the East, if in fact they do, they're not beating Golden State as currently comprised. So that would be the end of the line, and he would have gotten out of them far more than anybody expected when Kyrie Irving went down before the playoffs and Gordon Hayward before him. But, it was brought up last night. You brought it up before the start of the series when I was talking about Brad Stevens, and I was commenting on the advantage that he had over Tyronn Lue. And you go, well, in truth, it's LeBron James versus Brad Stevens, and that is correct. It is. So if that's the way we look at it, then we have to look at it this way. LeBron James, the GM, screwed up. He screwed up. Whatever happened with that relationship with he and Kyrie, that's a problem because that man was under contract for the next 2 years, and it fell apart. And you could use a partner right about now. You don't have one.
Yeah, I think the hard part here is if you're a Cleveland fan, you kind of have to accept it because you got your title and it's just egos in the room. And I don't blame, the Cavs management for saying we're not doing every little thing that you want us to do. You're not committing to us.
Yeah.
I know you're the favorite son of the city. You do too. So you should have all the more reason to sign with us and commit to us for long term. You could pull a Westbrook and commit to Cleveland. And if you give us that assurance, we're going to trade our lottery pick before last night, which is I think they have the 8th pick now.
Yes,
That's
New
the way
Jersey, the Nets' first-round pick was supposed to be the big thing that was going to help them, but it's
right. So there you go. Cleveland.
Eighth.
Cleveland didn't make the move, but I mean, well, what are they supposed to do though? Mortgage the farm and then be terrible for 10 more years because LeBron asked them to in the short term. So I understand where Cleveland's coming from this time, even if they got it wrong for LeBron's first departure and the way they handled that. He's holding them hostage here, and they can't give him every little thing he wants.
Yeah, but the problem is, you're right, except for none of it's going to matter. They are going to be terrible for the next 10 years. Nobody's going to Cleveland as a free agent destination. So when he walks at the end of this year because it didn't work, say goodbye to Cleveland being relevant.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you at least keep a 5 to 10% chance alive that you find some diamond in the rough at 8, rather than capitulate to everything that LeBron wants to do. And then when he walks, he used you, abused you, and you probably still didn't beat Golden State anyway.
Probably. I don't know, man. I'd have lost sleep over that one. I might have capitulated and said, let's make one last go of it. I'm getting used here, but maybe I'll be used to the tune of 2 championships, and the guy will walk either way, and I'm kind of screwed, but I'll be screwed with 2 rings. Now I'm screwed, and I'm not going to win anything for a very long time.
What's crazy about last night, and I did it backwards, and obviously people know that I'm watching the hockey game, so this is something that was on the back burner. But I go and I watch extended highlights, and I look at the box, and I see that the third quarter obviously is the big quarter for Boston.
Yeah, Boston turns it all around.
They're down whatever it is, 7 at the break, and then they go nuts in the third quarter. And I hear about Smart, and I hear about Rozier and Tatum and Morris and all these big plays they're making. So I figure if I go look at the box,
watch that one, right?
Well, yeah, but I figure I go look at the box, I'm going to see that they're just being studs. No. I mean, the funny thing is, you look at the box and it's like, well, this is all a bunch of average to some above average, some below
bunch
average
of balance.
play.
A bunch of balance.
But balance, exactly. That's what
balance.
That's what this is telling me. And watching the key sequences and then looking at the numbers themselves, this truly is a Boston team that's playing as a 5 or 6 deep team.
Man, I'm thinking to myself, too, when you talk about that balance and you talk about depth of talent, and you talk about having other guys play roles and contribute and do something to help you win a basketball game, and then you look at the situation in Cleveland and you think about what took place going back to the Kyrie deal and then bringing in Isaiah Thomas, and that was a disaster, and Jay Crowder and, Zizic and all that. Nothing. They got nothing back for that. And now you look around, you look out there, they've got Larry Nance Jr. sitting on the bench and Jordan Clarkson, and he's sorry ass. I mean, he's going to have to score 50 a night.
Right.
And I just don't think it's going to happen.
Well, he scored 21 in the first, 21 of their 27 in the
Rodney
first.
Hood.
And but he had to be on that pace the rest of the way. I mean, yes, he had to score damn near 50 or 60 points just to give him a fighting chance here. Because the way Boston's going, it's just they do the little things, especially last night. They didn't turn the basketball over. They missed 3 of their 20 free throws, and there are the hidden points that they needed. I mean, it wasn't a dominant night on the glass. It wasn't anything about somebody going for 30 and 12 in Boston. And, if Rozier's going to do that, then of course they have a chance. Yeah. No, it's just straight across the board. It looks like everybody did the little things right.
They care to defend. Cleveland's lazy on defense. They don't defend consistently. Boston always does defend. Cleveland will win Game 3, I do believe. If not, they'll get swept. But I think they'll win Game 3, and then I really do think they're going to lose Game 4, and I think Boston's going to win this in 5. And I think the league is probably just thinking, well, good Lord, this could not have gone any worse. Because if Houston can't win tonight and Golden State goes into Houston and wins the first 2 games of the series, that's probably going to be a sweep. And what do you got? A foregone conclusion in the finals. The Boston dream ends, and Golden State's your champ again, and the 2 bigger stories beyond that are duds.
You can only talk about, what's Boston going to do against Golden State next year so often in these finals this year. That only plays for about 30 seconds.
Oof. Hour number 2, fourth company. Stay with.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag Sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings, or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag Savings.
TNT.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Goes Boudreaux, Steve Chapman, and Captain Mike Ortega as they catch you up to speed on what's new and biting in the North Florida region. Big-time guests, celebrities, interviews, and 3 hours of the fishing info you need. Fishing Florida Radio is brought to you by Sea Quarters Marina off Highway 98 in Carabel. Sea Quarters Marina, your full-service marina, and presented by Hobbit American Grill and Mike's Marine Supply.
Widden Glass takes care of Tallahassee business. Local contractors know Widden Glass has been taking care of business since 1945. They prefer Widden Glass because of their precise window glass replacement, masterful shower enclosures, and storefront glass. Widden Glass will take care of you to your complete satisfaction. That's been Widden's way of doing business for over 70 years. When you call Widden Glass, you're dealing with experienced, reliable professionals who offer only the best. Like Widden's top-of-the-line bath enclosures that provide style and luxury at an affordable price. Eye-catching storefronts are a specialty at Widden Glass. We'll help you design it and install it. We've done hundreds of storefronts in the Tallahassee area. That's why Widden is known for taking care of business. Widden Glass, the first name in glass replacement. Call 222-5781.
And now Jeff and Eddie waste my time instead of recording a commercial.
And then you decided to sell it. And I always thought you should keep it.
You know, I wanted to keep it.
It was perfect. It was perfect. Why wouldn't you keep that?
It wasn't the right color.
It was perfect. I tell everybody to this day, you should have seen the other one. You should have seen the other one. It was incredible. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
I'm Michael Blank, an attorney with the Personal Injury Law Office of Jose R. Fernandez. If you get into an accident, call 1-855-HOSE-305. That's 1-855-HOSE-305. We don't get paid until you do. Se habla español. Offices Tallahassee and Miami.
This Day in Sports, brought to you by Superlube, 19 Tallahassee area locations. Quick, convenient, no appointment necessary. Get your history lesson weekdays at 5:30 during the Jeff Cameron Show, right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Driving every day from the AmeriGas studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown with breaking news. Michigan State agrees to pay $500 million to the survivors of Dr. Larry Nassar's sexual abuse while he worked at the university. The 332 victims who have come forward will get $425 million, with an additional $75 million set aside to meet the claims of any victims who come forward later. If the Rockets don't beat the Warriors tonight in Houston, they'll become the first NBA team to win at least 65 games in the regular season and then fall behind 0-2 in a series. Game 2 is tonight. We'll have it starting at 8 Eastern on ESPN Radio. The Celtics carry a 2-0 series lead to Cleveland in the Eastern Finals after a big second half in Game 2. ESPN's Jeff Van Gundy is not surprised by what the Celtics have done.
They've always been the better team. They're more talented, they're quicker, faster, more depth, more range shooting from more different people. So to me, they just have a superior talent base after you get past James, and then they also have a superior toughness right now and a togetherness. That was an outstanding response to the onslaught that they faced to start the game from James.
James scored 21 of his 42 points in the first quarter, but the Celtics held the Cavaliers to just 39 points in the second half. The Buffalo Bills will retire the number 34 for Hall of Fame running back Thurman Thomas. The ceremony to be held at halftime of the Bills' Monday night home game against the Patriots on October 29th. From baseball, Twins catcher Jason Castro will miss the rest of the season after knee surgery. The Cardinals put reliever Luke Gregerson on the DL with a right shoulder impingement, and the Mets put outfielder Yoenis Cespedes on the DL with a right hip strain.
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's Balls Mick Wednesday.
Balls you fire.
Brought to you by TNT Super Center, 14585 U.S. Highway 19, Thomasville, Georgia. Your one-stop shop for all your outdoor entertainment.
Number 2, Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Thanks for tuning to it. I'm Jeff. That's Tom. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming free always. Don't miss anything, but if you do, all 3 hours going to be posted both to iTunes and in our own audio vault. We had a shaky start to the program. Not our fault. The board went dead. So the first segment was on YouTube, and that's all you missed.
It'll be on podcast, too.
Podcasting. WTSM app, good for your mobile devices. Also, you can watch us on YouTube, ESPN Tallahassee there. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you're well. Pirates won again today, Tom. I don't know when I'm supposed to buy in, but
come on.
I'm starting to.
Really?
They win a lot, man. It's really kind of crazy. And they're doing some things. That's not what I intended to start the segment with, but this does involve kind of like, at what point do fans or should fans begin to believe in their team? That's different for everybody. You always root for your team, but at what point do you kind of say, all right, well, we're doing more than I expected, and do you go from that to, hey, man, this team's going to fool around and be in contention? I don't think we're that. We're in first place by ourselves in the Central, if you didn't know. We're 25-17. That's very quiet, 25-17.
It is a very quiet.
Yeah.
Even for you, typically you'd be boasting about even being in second in a year where you're not expected to be there, but you've been quiet about them.
Yeah. They're 8-2 in their last 10, 25-17 overall, and in first place by themselves, ahead of the Brewers, ahead of the Cubs, ahead of them all.
Playing the Reds a lot or something?
Well, I mean, this recent 2 games, we've played the White Sox. That helps. Who now have taken over the spot, Tom, for worst team in baseball.
Oh,
yeah, they're worse than the Reds. Reds have kind of gotten hot lately, so they're worse than the Reds.
Yeah, they sure have.
But yeah, man, I did not anticipate being ahead of the Cubs at this juncture of the season. No, I did not. And the Cardinals, for that matter. Hell, with the offseason moves the Brewers made, I certainly didn't think we'd be ahead of them either. I thought we'd be comfortably down there with Cincinnati.
25-17.
Yeah.
Wow. So you're at the quarter pole, and you're at first place. How about that?
Yeah. So when do you stand out of your seat? When do you start to dare to dream that this Kentucky Derby fantasy is yours to be had or to engage in?
Man, you hated my answer last time you asked this question, but not until about the All-Star break.
I think that's true. No, we're not good enough. I don't think we're a great team, but we're not a bad team. We're a lot better than I thought we were going to be. Let's put it that way. A lot. That's all that's a given, is that we're a lot better. Talked about it some last hour. I'll talk about it more next hour. Willie Taggart throwing down with we need a standalone, man. Don't be patching this thing up. Don't Band-Aid this thing. We need a stand-alone football facility. That's what I'd like to see happen. I think we can get to a consensus on that. Won't you help my cause? He didn't say that, but he did answer questions over there at Amelia Island, and it's the listen, I'll just tell you something. I think that he is going to see the kind of progress that Jimbo wanted to see. I think he's going to see it happen because he's got the ability to win over people. He's an affable, likable guy, and I think he goes about it asking for things the right way. I think it comes from a place that is shared by Florida State alumni and fans and boosters. It's a love of program. And so if you feel like that's the commonality with a guy, you're going to be apt to listen to the pitch. You're going to listen to what he has to say.
Well, what would you say? 80% of the funds necessary were already going to be secured because we were looking at a Moore Center renovation when Jimbo was here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So he just needed that little extra to push us over the top. And if you're looking as a good administration or a good upper management would do, if you're looking for signs that more money is coming, what more do you need than these last couple of months? I mean,
yeah,
Hope is going to sell for at least this year, and as long as you don't fall on your face, it's going to sell through the end of the 2019 season. You're going to get your season ticket renewals and all that stuff for the next 2 years.
Yeah, you got to win games, but, I mean, that's the next big step. But as far as this stuff goes, the momentum in the offseason and the winning over of hearts and minds and trying to get people to open up that checkbook for things that you think are vital to the program, I just think he's going to do a good job of that consistently. Like you said, as long as he doesn't fall on his face, I think he's going to consistently be able to do that. It's what makes him a really good recruiter as well. But there's a tact. There's a way to go about asking for things and engaging in that conversation. It doesn't involve browbeating and shaming and ignoring contributions and bullying people, but rather, having an open discussion about what's best for Florida State, what's best for the kids, what's best for a program that is desirous to win championships.
Yeah, and if you want to take it from, just a businessman's perspective, let's just say that Jimbo and Willie cared about the university the same amount. It's crazy, but just for the argument, for this moment. There is no better time to use the we card than when you need money for your university.
Yeah.
And we know that Willie is doing it in earnest, and Jimbo kind of refused to do it, and that was what, was the nails on the chalkboard with Jimbo. And then with Willie, it's the thing that we're kind of deifying him before he's even won anything on the football field. Are both a little bit ridiculous in their own right? Yes, the results will determine how we feel about those coaches, and that's why we were souring on Jimbo. And the hope of the results is why we're excited for Willie. But if you're just looking for the right way to ask for things and the time for the pitch.
Time and a place, baby.
If Willie didn't care about Florida State one bit, you would still tell him, use we now. It's about us in order to get people to stroke the check. In this case, we benefit, and so does he, by having some past with Knowles and at least being able to convey a fandom of being a Florida State.
Yeah, die hard. I think
yeah.
so. I mean, I think that's there. And when you hear it, when you hear the way that he talks about the university, it's impassioned. It's almost, how all fans are ridiculous. We all are. We all think our brand, our team, our program is the best, even when we know there's evidence contrary to that. And when we misstep, we seek to mitigate some of that, and usually we go over the top with our excuse making as to why things happen. But the truth is, when Willie talks about Florida State, it sounds like we're talking about Florida State, like we're sitting at the bar having a beer about, well, when are we going to win another championship, man? I mean, this is Florida State. We're the Garnet and Gold, baby. We ought to win a championship every couple years. When are we going to do that? That's the kind of skewed view that fans have that is derived from the passion that they have. But you'd like your coach to share some of that?
It seems like with Willie, he had a real love affair with the program in the late 80s and the 90s.
Early 90s, yeah.
His family continued to, but then when he was getting involved in the business, he kind of took that hat off for a little bit. But that now that he's at the helm of Florida State, it's like a rush of nostalgia for him, and he's only embraced it as we've embraced him. Like I don't know that he was checking the box scores for Florida State football results.
Well,
when
you don't
he was
have time when you're coaching
or
Oregon or USF.
wherever.
I'm sure he knew what was going on. He did say at one point, and I do believe this to be true, that he was kind of like, when he saw Florida State begin to struggle last year, he thought, that's strange. That's what's going on at Florida State. Like, I bet it was a passing thought, but I think it would be for anybody. I mean, you grow up, you have a team, you have a squad you root for, you have a group that you like. I mean, if I became entrenched in a National Football League organization, say I got a job with the Baltimore Ravens and I'm doing pregame shows, and I've got to wear the Ravens colors and shirts, and I'm invested in financially and emotionally in the Ravens. Their success helps me have more success, etc. I'm still checking the Bucs score every day. I'm still kind of, how the Bucs doing? Secretly, maybe around those Ravens fans, if the Bucs game is on in the corner and Jameis throws a touchdown pass, I'm all right? Yeah, I mean, I think that still happens.
Well, okay, let's speculate since it's sports talk radio. Do you think he was watching the national championship game and rooting for Florida State actively?
Yes.
He would say yes. So you can't get an honest answer out of him.
Yeah, why would he be rooting for Auburn? Sure, yes. I think the answer is yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think one of the things that can happen, it's true, even in this business, even just doing this for a living, having conversations, but interacting with people and seeing the extremes of the good and the bad and everything in between. And then also watching schools and how they operate and some of the things that you see behind the scenes that aren't good. Some of the things that are good, but some things that aren't. You get jaded, right? That's true. I always worried for my buddy that went to work in baseball. He grew up a baseball fan, loved it, ended up being a student manager for the Florida State baseball team, and then getting a job in professional baseball. And I used to think, man, I wonder how soon the love of baseball is replaced by I got to go to the damn office again today because we're on a 10-game homestand and I haven't had a day off to myself in 2 weeks. Wish this team would leave. And, oh, by the way, when they do, I'm not watching any baseball while they're on the road. You know, like how soon would you get to that place? Luckily for him, it never really happened. He was able to separate the two.
Boy, and was there a vice effect, too, with, the ownership groups?
Right.
It would give you a reason.
But, occasionally, certainly when we leave here, it's not all sports all the time. It's we've learned how to bracket it. You learned how to, okay, I got to bracket some time here. I need to know what I'm talking about. So I do need to watch this game, or I do need to see what happened, or I certainly need to read this article. But if I'm not doing a show on a Saturday afternoon after I go to my kid's soccer game, that does involve sports, we might go to the beach, we would go hang out, and I'm not necessarily watching a neutral team that I don't care anything about or a game, but I would always check on the Noles, and I will always check on the Bucks, and I will always check on the Lightning, and I'll always check on the Pirates.
I wonder if there's any quantifiables to this. I'm sure there are, because there are for everything. If you're trying to sell something, there's a study you can do. But the commercials they have for the insurance, and it's like I'm turning into my parents. And
I love that commercial.
The dad support group.
Well, the thing about who left the door open? Are we trying to fool the whole neighborhood?
Then I started telling them defense wins championships.
It does.
Right?
Yeah.
I feel like as I'm getting older, I'm liking obscure sports more. And my dad is that way. And I feel like for example, golf is something that, we could talk about here, but not at large.
No.
I'm as big of a golf fan as I've been since I was playing it in my teens.
Well, and in a weird way, I'm working in it and becoming an even bigger fan because I'm learning so much about how guys put together their workouts and their training and their practice sessions and their whole management team and what that means. And you're your own corporation, and then you're not just rooting for a player, you're starting to root for like an entire group. Yeah.
I'm finding myself going to Seminoles.com to see how the track team is doing, or if the softball team's doing well.
Well, Bob Brayman's group had a little letdown there for a while. It looks like they're back.
They're back. There was
Yeah.
one event they had a clean sweep in, and I didn't realize that they do this, but they had a big broom for the medal stand, the podium, and the guy swept it. It was like one of the big janitor brushes that's about, 2-3 feet wide, and he swept the number one little spot, and then he stood up with his two Noles teammates.
Which is hilarious.
I was like, woo, that's a little brash.
Get you some?
But I don't know what it is, but as I'm getting older, I'm getting more invested in these little weird dealy sports.
Well, they're not the big three per se, but a lot of those niche sports are growing. It's a little bit like what we see with our entertainment options in general. Gone are the days of the three stations. You can find anything you want anywhere, almost so that it's to a place where you don't even know what's on anymore. Where can I find this show that people are talking about? What network is that? What time does it come on? When do I? Because you're not beholden to a time anymore, so you're going to download it, but you didn't. I find out about shows from people all the time that I didn't even know exist. That's a new era. I mean, that didn't exist. When ER got popular on Thursday night television back in the day.
Jag.
When ER got popular, when Seinfeld got popular, or whatever it was, or go all the way back to Family Ties or whatever you want.
Yeah.
Everybody knew exactly where the Cosby Show was, what time it came on. And all the rest of them, right? And there was no mystery as to what network and what time. Just tons of shows now. Somebody will say, have you seen such? I've never heard of it. Where is that? Oh, it's on the Protection Channel. What's the Protection Channel? Oh, it's this cool thing about nature. You should go. Oh, okay, well, I'll watch it. Oh, this show's amazing.
Yeah, you told me about the Vice Channel last year. Like, check it out. All the
Vice
shows
is awesome.
are incredible. Yeah. Or like the science and industry ones where they're the space. You talked about planets and all the planets in our solar system.
It's
like
awesome.
Exploring those, the information we have. Did you know that one of Jupiter's moons, by the way, that they think there are plumes of liquid?
Ooh.
Like they have oceans now.
Well, see,
that's
all you need for life, buddy.
But
Well, it's not all you need. But
Here's the double whammy. 2 weeks ago, I'm watching a Lightning Bruins game. Can't talk about it here. And in the intermission, I can't wait because I was taping Florida State beach volleyball in the final. I couldn't wait for the intermission so I could watch the final.
The sport like that I do enjoy, I enjoy Florida State women's soccer. I actually do like that. I will watch that. I know everybody thinks I'm a chauvinist, but I like that. I enjoy it.
They're good. They have been forever.
They have been for a very long time, and Krikorian does an amazing job, and I'll watch it. So I see what you're saying. Well, I'm also an Australian rules football fan, and if there were an Australian rules football network that carried the season and the games, like the big matchups, like the NFL, I'm not kidding you. I'm all in. All in.
Well, in my early 20s, I'm everything ESPN wants me to be. At 4 o'clock in the afternoon when I'm, in college, I'll watch NFL Live. Because it's all about football all the time. I'll watch college football live in June to hear about camps 2 months out for Clemson.
There's a whole bunch of people who are nodding their head in agreement right now.
To a degree, I'm still the latter form of that person. So I'm listening to different shows around the country for insights on what's going on in the offseason in Clemson, for example, because that's who we have to look at all the time. Athens, whatever. But with the NFL, I was that way. I was who ESPN wanted me to be. But as I'm getting older, it's like you with baseball in the last couple of years. I just have these affinities for these weird little sports that have nothing to do with nothing.
It's weird that I'm even more in the bag for baseball than I've ever been at a time where baseball is in a bit of a crisis with the 3 true outcome stuff. But I just love the game and can get really immersed in individual at-bats. I like to watch the strategy. I like to watch the way that pitchers try to get hitters out and how they set guys up. And I can do that over and over and over again. A lot of people can't do that. A lot of people say, it's a little bit monotonous for me, man, especially on a Wednesday night in game number 52 of the year out of 162. Nope, not me. I can do it. I can do it with anybody. That's where it's gotten weird, where it's not just my team. Like if I flip on the Angels taking on the Twins, I'll go, and I'll sit there and watch for an hour. Just watch that game.
Oh, hey, Berrios. All right.
Yeah, he's good. He throws hard.
Yeah.
I'll watch him pitch, and I'll go, all right, this is okay for me. I'm going to watch this kid pitch. I'll learn a lot more about all of the guys in the league that way, and I rather enjoy it. It's funny that way. Going back to when you are able to believe and obviously take a step forward and say, okay, I'm all in. Braves fans locally, I'm really curious if they are as locked in as they ought to be with this young team, because most Braves fans that I talk to will continually say, I'm not going to get crazy yet. It's just still a year away. I'm not so sure. They may be ready now to win the division.
Well, if the Nationals are going to, wander in the wilderness and have no direction, yes. They just need the pitching, right? That's it. That's all the Braves really need right now. They are a hitting machine, and Freddie Freeman has always been really good, and you wondered at what point in his career is he going to have something around him, because the farm, you could talk about the farm for 5 years. If it never comes, these prospects are great, but they have to mature at some point. Well, they're maturing at a ridiculous rate for the Braves.
Ridiculous rate, man. Every guy they call up, you're like, well, look at this guy. Look at Acuna. Man, this guy's awesome. And then I find myself liking it. And I've never been a big Braves supporter, but it's kind of cool. And I know we carry them on the airwaves, so it certainly is beneficial to us.
Well, after Front Row Knowles concludes tonight, yes, pregame
Atlanta
coverage.
Braves baseball, baby, yeah. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag Sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings, or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag Savings.
TNT.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Enjoy the action. Ever since the days of Hank Aaron and Dale Murphy, we've been Tallahassee's home run hitting law firm. And because we don't get paid unless we win, we want to win every case as much as Chipper Jones wanted to win every game. So when you're injured, don't just trust any law firm to handle your case. Make the call to the bullpen for a trusted closer. To see our stats on the back of our baseball card, visit wrongfullyinjured.com. Fonville, Lewis, Messer, McConaughey. Personal injury law is all we do.
There's big savings today, up to $1,000 off at TNT Supercenter on the brand new QuietTech Yamaha gas golf carts. The new Yamaha technology combines the quietness of electric with the dependability of gas and the very first independent rear suspension ever found on a golf car. Choose from over 30 new gas Yamahas, including 4-passenger Adventure Sports and the 6-passenger Concierge. Ask about zero down and low interest financing with approved credit. And TNT delivery is free from Valdosta to Tallahassee. Just in at TNT Supercenter, a special fleet purchase of 2016 Club Car Precedent golf cars. These like-new Club Car golf cars at TNT Supercenter are $27.99, including the charger and windshield. Only at TNT Supercenter, and only while they last. Just $27.99. Zero down and low-interest financing available with approved credit. And delivery is free from Valdosta to Tallahassee. US 19 South, next to the Dairy Queen in Thomasville. View inventory and pricing at TNTSupercenter.com. TNT Supercenter, Thomasville, Georgia.
Working their way into the summer, DeWalt and Cornerstone Tool and Fastener are turning up the heat. Buy one DeWalt 20-volt Max XR lithium-ion brushless premium hammer drill and impact driver combo kit with 2 5-amp-hour batteries and receive $100 off instantly. And you get one of the following DeWalt Bare tools for free: a 5-inch grinder, recip saw, or an LED spotlight. That's a 3-piece kit. Come check out all the new DeWalt products at Cornerstone Tool and Fastener. And while you're there, check out the most powerful cordless kit on the planet, GoVolt FlexVolt. Cornerstone Tool and Fastener, 1110 Stuckey Ave and 3269 Crawfordville Highway.
ESPN Tallahassee, in the palm of your hand.
So long, suckers!
The all-new WTSM app.
97.9 ESPN Radio congratulates Florida High's Dylan Bureau, named a Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac Springtime Standout Student Athlete. A senior leader and key contributor on Florida High's baseball team, first baseman Dylan Bureau was named District Player of the Year and Florida High's Athlete of the Month, batting .398 with 19 runs scored and 18 RBI. Dylan holds a 3.8 GPA in the classroom and has an eye towards continuing his baseball career throughout college, where he holds several offers, including one from hometown school Florida A&M. As a winner of the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac Springtime Standout Student Athlete nomination, Dylan Bureau is entered into the drawing for the final $2,500 end-of-the-year scholarship from our friends at Dale Jr. Congratulations to Dylan, and to check out and support our friends at Dale Jr., check them out on the corner of Capitol Circle Northeast in Miccosukee, or by visiting Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac.com.
As the morning sun shines in, you hit the snooze button. 10 minutes turned into an hour. Now there's no time to take a shower or time to get dressed, which explains the sweater vest and the fedora. When your morning is hell, just go to Taco Bell.
And for just $1, let us make you breakfast, like Taco Bell's grilled breakfast burrito. Eggs, bacon, and cheese wrapped in a warm tortilla. At participating stores for a limited time during breakfast hours. Prices may vary, tax extra.
You're listening to The Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Jeff, email. Short segment, might as well get to one of these. JCS at 979 at ESPNradio.com. Will you have Lee Sterling on the show to talk about the Supreme Court decision? That from Devontae. Thanks for listening, Devontae. Yeah, it's a good idea. I could have Lee on. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow or Friday. I think I don't think it's going to change much because I think that, look, it's going to be a while. We talked about this yesterday, but if you look now at the states that have bills that have been introduced but not passed, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 states currently, 14 states currently that have bills introduced but that have not been passed for setting up a sports book. You have only one full-scale legalized sports betting currently, and that is obviously in Las Vegas, Nevada. There are a number of states that have recently had bills passed, and they will set up very quickly. The closest to the state of Florida, where you will legally be able to walk in and place your bet for the sports book, as opposed to playing cards or the track or whatever. Mississippi. Also, I would note that South Carolina has got a bill that's probably going to go through, so that's pretty close. Just go through Georgia and into South Carolina.
Maybe for a Clemson roadie.
West Virginia, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Connecticut all have passed bills to set up sportsbook and legal gambling. Now, these have to be licensed. They have to be set up. That's why I say these places should all tell the leagues, screw your integrity fee. We're not going to screw ourselves out of hundreds of millions of dollars to give you a piece of the pie that you resisted for so long. Australia does this. England does this. We're in the dark ages when it comes to sports gambling. It's been set up in other countries for a very long time. There are ways to know how to get these things set up. Las Vegas in our own country will give you an example of how to do it and do it right to ensure that everything is on the up and up, and that these sports books operate swimmingly. So I would think that's what's going to happen. I don't think they need to acquiesce to an integrity fee. I think that this will up the interest in American sports more than there already is. It is going to be a boon for American sports, in particular the NFL. It is a good thing for these leagues. It's a great thing for the NHL. It is a great thing for the NBA. It is a great thing for any league anywhere that wants more eyes on sets and more people involved on a daily basis in their sport. And I think that's exactly what's going to happen. But it's a process. The Supreme Court has just now paved the way for us to catch up with the rest of the free world that doesn't have a stigma attached to gambling, that doesn't have, moralism attached to these sorts of things. You can go into stadiums throughout London, throughout England. There are over 1,000 sports books in London. In London. Tiny, you know what I mean?
London proper, yes.
Yeah. So you'll get to experience that this summer.
That's right. I hope Brighton has them. I've been researching.
Sure
I can't find them.
I'm sure probably the local fish and chip shop will have it. I mean, it's literally that easy. I mean, those kinds of kiosks are set up everywhere.
Yeah.
And they're licensed, and they are properly managed.
And I'll be there for the weekend of the Open Championship. Think they'll be taking odds on some golfers? Yes, sir.
I may give you a little bit of money.
There you go.
As you head on over
Euros,
there.
please.
It's funny.
Or the pounds.
The underhandedness of what's gone on in this country for so long, where you literally have billions of dollars bet illegally. It's the guy at the end of the bar. It's the dude you sit next to while you're having a pop, and you ask leading questions, and he takes your money. And now you just be able to do it on the up and up. And it'll be licensed. You'll know you got your money. I mean, they're bonded. I mean, you're not going to get screwed, and somebody's not coming to break your legs. It's I want $100 on Tiger Woods. Okay, thank you for your bet, sir.
Maybe they might break your legs if you start winning too much.
I don't know. They
stay out of here.
No, they like it. Las Vegas, they entice the big sharks and the whales. They want them to come there and bet more. They give them free rooms and everything else. It's good for the product, right? Because what happens is people find out that, I know this guy Ted has won $1 million out there.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to go chase the dream.
There is nothing better than somebody celebrating at the window for them.
Oh,
well, sure, sir. Here you go.
I told you the last time I was in Vegas, I did all right. First time ever doing all right. But I was plus a little bit of money. And so I went and checked out, my final day there. I was paying for my room. And I paid cash for the 4 days that I was there because I collected my winnings. And the girl, it was so funny. It was almost like a wink like they knew they had me. Like I'm the sucker thinking I'm getting over on them paying for the room in cash, right? I'm like, here you go. Just throw it after she gives me. It wasn't cheap to be there for 4 days, right? At a nice casino. And I'm like, and she goes, looks like you had a great stay here in Las Vegas, sir. And I said, oh, I did. She goes, we'll see you again next time. I was like, you got me. You got me.
Check the language.
She knows damn well I may have won today, but over the course of my lifetime, that won't be true, and they know that. So they love it. There's a smile on their face. All right, Mr. Cameron, good job. You got us this time. We'll see you next time. Like, you got me, you bastard.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag Sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings, or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag Savings.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
It's also your headquarters for the best in retro gaming. Atari 2600, original Nintendo, Super NES, or Sega Genesis, you name it. They got it at Games for Less. Games for Less, the Super Walmart Shopping Center on Appalachian Parkway. Give them a call today at 850-219-3535. That's Games for Less.
Widden Glass takes care of Tallahassee business. Local contractors know Widden Glass has been taking care of business since 1945. They prefer Widden Glass because of their precise window glass replacement, masterful shower enclosures, and storefront glass. Widden Glass will take care of you to your complete satisfaction. That's been Widden's way of doing business for over 70 years. When you call Widden Glass, you're dealing with experienced, reliable professionals who offer only the best. Like Widden's top-of-the-line bath enclosures that provide style and luxury at an affordable price. Eye-catching storefronts are a specialty at Widden Glass. We'll help you design it and install it. We've done hundreds of storefronts in the Tallahassee area. That's why Widden is known for taking care of business. Widden Glass, the first name in glass replacement. Call 222-5781.
Time to check out our buddy Joe over at Truck and Car Concepts. What's going on, man?
Hey, man, what's going on with you guys?
Well, here's the deal. I heard that you were gone all day as you were out tinting a house.
Yes, sir. His customer was having a big heat problem on the west side of the house in the afternoon. We went over, did the estimate, decided to do the east side of the house as well. Let me tell you something. We knocked out 79% of the heat energy, which is going to totally knock down the electricity bill. Not only that, but she had some really nice paintings that were fading out in the living room. 99% ultraviolet ray elimination.
So it would fade out like carpets and drapes and furniture and stuff?
Not only that, but it also fades out those expensive hardwood floors. So window filming the house is nothing but a plus. Like I said, it comes and it takes down the heat energy, and that's, bottom line.
So even though the place is called Truck and Car Concepts, you could throw house in there too.
We can do houses, planes, trains, or automobiles, man. If it's got glass, we tint it. Truck and Car Concepts, 656-8800. Give us a call.
Have you ever noticed when you report an accident or a claim to an insurance company, they are very eager to get you to one of their approved body shops. They say that they guarantee the shops work, but what they're really saying is the shop works for them, not the customer. So choose a shop that is working for and looking out for you, someone you trust. It's your choice. Lisa's Paint and Body.
License number MP46050.
The perfect lunch spot. A nearly impossible find. Thankfully for Tallahassee, we have Metro Deli. A downtown gem for over 15 years, Metro Deli is locally owned and features the best deli meats, cheeses, breads, and ingredients in the city. Enjoy daily specials and soups, salads and wraps. There's something for everyone. Metro Deli offers online ordering for pickup or delivery and will cater your office breakfast or lunch too. Tallahassee's perfect lunch spot is Metro Deli. MetroDeliTally.com. That's MetroDeliTally.com.
Congratulations, you are now a licensed drone pilot. But what should you do next to elevate your business to new heights? Learn how to package your drone photography by enrolling in TCC's Wakulla Environmental Institute's Drone Business Video Production course. Don't wait, seats are limited. Go to tcc.fl.edu and search drone today or call 850-558-3500. Learn how to package your drone photography so that you can get your drone business started. Go to tcc.fl.edu and search drone for drone education at TCC's Wakulla Environmental Institute. Class starts June 14th.
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's Balls Mick Wednesday.
Balls you fire.
Brought to you by TNT Supercenter, 14585 U.S. Highway 19, Thomasville, Georgia. Your one-stop shop for all your outdoor entertainment.
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Thanks for tuning to it. Happy Balls Mick Wednesday. At Jay Cameron Show, Braves fan here. Honestly, I'm just taking one game at a time, enjoying every win. And if this team wins the East, I'll be thrilled. I just want to be better than the year before. Hashtag a-hole.
Good use. Somebody used the hashtag and it was a Braves fan.
Old school hashtag.
Hashtag a-hole.
Indeed. Well done. Well, Corey, I think that's a refreshing and level-headed view of your team this season and each passing game. Rare to see from fans in general.
In a way, though, these are the most fun seasons you can have.
I completely agree.
It's how much damage can we do? Can we crash somebody else's party? Because it was never our party to begin with. There's no expectations. So you just get to enjoy what you're watching rather than being beset by championship expectations and having to always measure against that.
I'm in the middle of that. It's happening right now. I don't believe that the Pittsburgh Pirates are very good. They are in first place in the NL Central, however. So my belief, be damned, they are in first place. Now, I'm also a realist in the sense that we've seen feel-good stories like this quickly fade. It takes an injury. It takes guys who are currently playing above their head to begin to play to the back of the baseball card again, and you return to form, and you in the second half of a very long season, you're mired in mediocrity, which is what I think will happen in Pittsburgh. I just asked the question: at what point do you begin to latch on and believe and commit emotionally to the idea that your team could be a help? When did the Twins fans begin last year to say, wait a minute, I mean, this is ridiculous. We're still in this thing, and we've played, I think you play 100 games. There's no way by then you haven't committed.
Yeah, August, I think, was the answer for them because, well, the trading deadline, there was a lot of speculation that even though they were contending, they weren't going to be treated like contenders at the deadline, and they were going to sell. So I think once that passed and they didn't do anything to slow down whatever progress they had for the season, I know that's the moment that most Twins fans said, well, all right, we'll see what we can do here. It's time to go. I thought we were just going to be this close, and the GM was going to make the right call and say the rebuild is still in progress. That's the hard part. You talk about that every year when we get to the trade.
It's always my favorite time because you find which GMs have a long-term plan in place and are going to stick by it, even in the wake of extreme fan backlash and or enthusiasm for a season that is maybe warranting something above and beyond what the plan calls for, which is to maybe give away one of those younger players because you think you have a window to win right now. Like, I think if you're Cleveland, you need to make a move for your bullpen. You lost 2 important arms in the offseason, Shaw being one of them. You're in a situation where you're pretty good, but that pen isn't what it was a year ago, and you need to do something to shore that up because the product on the field can win. It can win a championship right now. You're already at that place. You've already arrived at that place. So you got to do that and forego some of the future by doing so. But if you're a team that, is ahead of schedule like the Braves, don't be giving away all your best players at the trade deadline to go get a veteran whatever, because this is a thing that's built to win for a very long time right now. They're in a good position. These guys look like they can really play. The younger players can really play. And you're going to have one of the youngest staffs in baseball, and you're set up for a good 5-7 year run.
Well, it's easier to stay the course in basketball because it's quite clear in the NBA if you're a have or a have not. There's only a few haves, So what are you playing for? Some more rounds of home games in the playoffs that are meaningless,
right?
Right. I'm not going to go sell to be a 4 seed. I'm not going to go sell my prospects and my future to be a 4 seed because I don't have LeBron. I'm not Golden State, so screw that. I'm going to stick to my plan and continue plowing forward and free up the cap space for somebody to come save my franchise. But in baseball, it's difficult because if you're having a really good year and you're on pace to win 95 games,
right?
You get into that dance and you avoid the wild card game, you've got as good a shot as anybody. It's friggin' baseball.
Yeah, just about, right? I mean, at that point, you'd say, well, we got to make a go of it. It's just a matter of when do you really believe. I remember one year the White Sox just didn't make a move, and they were in first place in the division, and at the time, I don't know how they were doing it. It was smoke and mirrors. I remember looking at the numbers going, they got no chance to win. They're not even one of the best 10 teams in baseball, but they're currently in first, and their fans were very angry. They're like, come on, let's do something. We're right there. And then you're thinking, man, they're young. They've got some real talent coming up. They could win 2 to 3 World Series in the next 8 years, but unless they trade it all away right now for one veteran arm to make a run at it. The Brewers went and got CeCe Sabathia. You remember this?
Oh, they went for it.
And it didn't work out.
But it did to get into the playoffs because he was a complete game machine.
Yeah, but they didn't win the whole thing. And when you give away the future, you better win.
They did just enough to screw the Mets. I'll tell you that much. We were the team that was in game 162.
It's like, why does he know so much about that Brewers trade?
That was 07. That was 2000. Or sorry, 08. That was a 2008 run, I do believe.
That's great. I can't believe that was 10 years ago. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag Sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings, or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag Savings.
TNT. When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
1K, paid vacations, sick leave, health insurance, Aflac group rates, and long-term care with only 2 health questions and a $1,000 signing bonus. They have regional dry van, hopper, and tanker lines available. Home every weekend or more. Go to earlytruckingcompany.com to fill out an application. Help ETC keep agriculture in motion.
An eager young FSU marketing major came into Poor Paul's the other day and told me what a genius he thought I was for having such great specials, like the free ladies' drinks on Tuesday nights, the free Gumby's Pizza and $4.95 pitchers on Sunday and Monday night, and the cheapest prices in town every other night. And not to mention, all the free beer people wouldn't spit in the wheel of fortune. He asked me if I'd studied marketing, and I told him I had, but what I didn't tell the poor guy was that in 4 years, I didn't learn a damn thing in any of my classes. Most of my business philosophy came from observing a girl named Bunny, who lived across from me and was, let's say, working her way through school. You see, Bunny had a great service, sold it at rock-bottom prices with a smile, and had hundreds of happy customers. And aside from that little red light in her window, all her advertising was simply word of mouth. So I didn't see the need for all those charts and graphs and formulas. I knew all I needed to be successful were the Bunny marketing methods. Sell really good stuff, cheap, with a smile. And that's why, just like at Bunny's, there's always a big crowd at Poor Paul's wanting to spend their money. And that's why that poor kid thought I was so smart. Who's your buddy?
The Greater Tallahassee Chamber of Commerce, who's celebrating their 95th year in business this year, would like to recognize their newest members.
Hi, I'm Corey Melton, Vice President of Membership, and I'm proud on behalf of the Chamber to welcome our newest members from the month of April. A. Angel Auto Sales, Cypress Capital, 97.9 ESPN Radio, Farming the Future, Gypsia Boutique Incorporated, Handle Me With Care Foundation, Hieronymus Technologies, Monogram Art, Rebels Midtown Boutique, Tallahassee Chiropractic and Injury Clinic, and Waterstone Mortgage.
The Chamber is proud to support over 1,400 local businesses representing over 60,000 employees. For information on how your business can be a part of the Greater Tallahassee Chamber of Commerce, contact Corey Melton at 850-521-3104. Once again, contact Corey Melton at 850-521-3104.
For better gas mileage and a longer-lasting engine, change your vehicle's oil at Superlube every 3 months or 3,000 miles, whichever comes first. For good times and family fun, Tallahassee heads to the Fun Station. And right now, when you change your oil at Superlube, you'll get a $15 Fun Station gift card. You don't need an appointment. You'll be in and out in no time. And with 19 Tallahassee area Superlubes, there's probably one right around the corner right now.
How I love to Superlube my car, yes sir.
This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Hey, do you remember, I'm always asking you for time periods, and I'm trying to, because most of the time, our age difference doesn't show up on the show. I mean, sometimes, but not where it's glaring. So therefore, I ask you things like, hey, do you remember a time when, I think the last time I was talking to you about this, I was asking you about busy signals or something for the phone.
Yeah.
Call
definitely.
waiting and all that. You remember that. You remember the house phone. You remember that, all that stuff, right? Had it already changed? Had we already reached the place where TV stations were on all night?
By the time I'm old enough to remember, yes. Yeah, there was paid programming overnight. Yeah.
It's awesome. I was thinking about this today. I can remember television stations going off the air at midnight and just the bars.
Playing the national anthem.
National anthem, and just the color bars would be there, just all through the night. You seem to remember that, though.
I think there was, if you were one of like the tertiary channels, right?
Yeah.
Like a WTTA 38 down in Tampa Bay.
Or a WTOG, like a UHF station or something?
Yeah. I think TOG was 24 hours because they would just play like Star Trek The Next Generation all night long.
They would play a lot of cool shows like the
Stargate, Star Trek.
Yep, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Battlestar Galactica.
Right. And the 70s version, which was pretty cool.
Which was my version, yeah.
I actually saw the recent version. It's not terrible. Anyway, but WTTA would be off air, I think, when I was a kid. But, the major ones, Fox and ABC, WFTS, TVT, all those were 24 hours. But they would just be a bunch of, like spray-on bald spot stuff at 3 in the morning.
Yes, I remember when all that started popping up, and I loved it because those ads are the best. But, yeah, that there is Well, of course, YouTube has everything you could ever want from a nostalgic standpoint. But, yeah, they have somebody recorded. I don't know why you would have. Maybe you were recording a show way back when VCRs first came out. Did those two overlap? Did it happen that way, that VCRs were recording stations that went off the air? Like if you went to bed, you wanted to see a show, you recorded something, and it overlapped, and you got an hour's worth of the American flag waving or the color bars.
Could be, yeah.
Because on YouTube you can find a TV station signing off from the 60s, 70s, 80s. I'm just trying to think what year it was that happened.
That's one of the funny scenes in the beginning of Back to the Future 3 is when it goes from snow to signing on, and it's howdy doody time. And Doc Brown wakes up, it's 1955, and he's, howdy doody time. And it just shows the little kid's black and white character.
So I looked it up just now. There were some stations even in the early 90s that signed off, said, have a good day, we'll see you first thing in the morning. They put up, a lot of times they'd put up those test cards, and there was one that was so old back in the day, you probably do not remember this, but I do, where they had these test cards, and an American Indian would be on the top.
No, God, no, I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, they'd have an Indian head, which was the setting for brightness and contrast controls. That's like the headdress.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, how about that?
Isn't that fascinating?
That is fascinating.
Yeah, that's what they used.
I remember TTA distinctly now being off air because we had the TV Guide channel. It was like the brand new thing.
Yeah,
remember the TV Guide channel?
Yeah, yeah.
I had a different name in the beginning, but it would go through the whole thing, 0 to 99. And channel 6 was WTTA 38 on cable, and it said off air. And I recall that, thinking, well, that's weird. So I'd check it, and it would just be the color bars and the tone. Yeah.
Of all the shows that were routinely played on those stations, like you say, the tertiary stations that kind of you didn't always tune into, but they were very local, I'm telling you, I just have never seen a bad episode of The Twilight Zone, and I'm so glad that they're on demand. I let my kids love The Twilight Zone. We sit around and watch The Twilight Zone incessantly.
Really?
Oh, all the time.
Now?
Oh, yeah, all the time. Like, if they come home and it's a little, they're waiting on their dinner or something.
It doesn't freak them out because there are some freaky episodes.
There are some freaky episodes. Clark gets a little freaked out occasionally. I am always what I marvel at are the number of actors that got their start in a show like The Twilight Zone. Guys that went on. I mean, there are episodes with Burgess Meredith, one of the most famous ones, where he's the last guy on Earth, and he's so happy because he hates people. He's a reclusive guy and an introvert, and all he loves is books, and he just wants to read. He's a librarian. And so I believe there's like a nuclear bomb or something goes off, and he's the only survivor on Earth, and he's so happy. He's so happy he's not going to have to deal with people, and he's got all these books surrounding him. He's just he's in his element. He's just going to read all the time, and then he bends over to get a book, and his glasses fall, and they break.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh.
Yeah, and he's sitting there weeping, surrounded by all these books, and his glasses are broken.
That's messed up.
What a great episode.
Oh,
it's just brilliant.
Man.
Yeah.
What an analogy for life, huh?
Yeah, man. It's and that's why I love it, because Bryce will see through it every time, and he'll say, oh, they're talking about why you should always do this, or why we need people, Dad, and like why we need each other. Yes, son.
There's a message here. It's
Yeah.
not quite Aesop's fables.
No,
but,
right.
Yeah.
And it's neat.
A recommendation for folks, I think I've said this in the past, but if nostalgia is your game and you want to go relive your past, there are videos on YouTube of Walt Disney World theme park rides from the 70s and the 80s.
Things you remember as your childhood, yeah.
Yeah. And they'll have it categorized by year. So if you want to go, you went with your folks for a long time like I did, I got locked in this rabbit hole, and I was a little weepy. I'm like, God, look at these things. What the people are wearing in line. You can find videos of people waiting in line, and then you get in, and all the sights
I don't
and
need
the
to see
sounds
people
and
sitting
stuff.
in line.
No,
I waited in
just
those lines
to
the
see what
first
people
time.
were wearing, which
Oh,
is crazy,
which is
like the
hilarious.
old Figment hats and stuff. But you can find, and I'm sure it is for most theme parks, not just the one in Orlando. But if you want to talk about really obscure, nostalgic things, you can find videos of the old theme park rides from back in the day, which is pretty crazy.
Rod Serling, by the way, died in 1975 in Rochester, New York. He was born in 1924 in Syracuse, New York. He was 5'4". And my favorite quote of his is, "There is nothing in the dark that isn't there when the lights
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag Sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings, or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag Savings.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Blountstown Highway, 574-4100.
It's not easy being a mom, but my Chrysler Pacifica makes soccer practice a little more fun. I can binge all my shows with the available Uconnect theater, open the Stow and Go seating to grab my hidden romance novel, or just jam out to the radio.
Hey Mom, what was that song?
Huh? What song? I didn't hear a song.
Chrysler Pacifica. It's loaded with attitude. Chrysler is a registered trademark of FCA US LLC.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Blountstown Highway, 574-4100.
Nice Tire and Auto, just minutes away from FSU campus.
Keeping a flower garden or patio beautiful all season shouldn't mean keeping a garden hose running all season. Which is why the Home Depot now has big, blooming Quart Rio Dipladenia, 3 for just $12. They're bold, beautiful, drought-resistant flowers that keep blooming all season without a lot of water. So, even if you forget, they'll forgive. Quart Rio Dipladenia, 3 for just $12, now at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. While supplies last, selection varies by store.
Driving every day from the AmeriGas studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown with breaking news. Michigan State agrees to pay $500 million to the survivors of Dr. Larry Nassar's sexual abuse while he worked at the university. The 332 victims who have come forward will get $425 million, with an additional $75 million set aside to meet the claims of any victims who come forward later. If the Rockets don't beat the Warriors tonight in Houston, they'll become the first NBA team to win at least 65 games in the regular season and then fall behind 0-2 in a series. Game 2 is tonight. We'll have it starting at 8 Eastern on ESPN Radio. The Celtics carry a 2-0 series lead to Cleveland in the Eastern Finals after a big second half in Game 2. ESPN's Jeff Van Gundy is not surprised by what the Celtics have done.
They've always been the better team. They're more talented. They're quicker, faster, more depth, more range shooting from more different people. So to me, they just have a superior talent base after you get past James, and then they also have a superior toughness right now and a togetherness. That was an outstanding response to the onslaught that they faced to start the game from James.
James scored 21 of his 42 points in the first quarter, but the Celtics held the Cavaliers to just 39 points in the second half. The Buffalo Bills will retire the number 34 for Hall of Fame running back Thurman Thomas. The ceremony to be held at halftime of the Bills' Monday night home game against the Patriots on October 29th. From baseball, Twins catcher Jason Castro will miss the rest of the season after knee surgery. The Cardinals put reliever Luke Gregerson on the DL with a right shoulder impingement, and the Mets put outfielder Yoenis Cespedes on the DL with a right hip strain.
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's Balls Mick Wednesday.
Balls you fire.
Brought to you by TNT Supercenter, 14585 U.S. Highway 19, Thomasville, Georgia. Your one-stop shop for all your outdoor entertainment.
Final hour of the Jeff Cameron Show, at least for today. Thanks for tuning to it. I'm Jeff. That's Tom. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming free. Always try not to miss stuff. Sometimes miss things. When that happens, hey, man, we got you covered. All 3 hours going to be posted both to iTunes and our own Audio Vault upon the conclusion of the program. Go back and get caught up. If you want to watch us perform our duties on YouTube, you can. Go to YouTube, type in ESPN Tallahassee. You'll find us, and you can watch. You can also do that on Periscope if you're on Twitter at 979 ESPN Radio. That's what you got there. Boy, I think the NBA is getting a little nervous here. I got to think that, first of all, I'll go back to it. I said it before the series started. I didn't predict Boston to beat Cleveland. I just said I thought it would go 6 or 7 for sure because Brad Stevens is an infinitely superior coach and Boston defends. And we saw what Indiana did to Cleveland. But now I think that it's not outrageous to sit here and say to you, Boston's going to win that series, and I'm not going to be surprised if they win it in 5. Cleveland's just not very good. I mean, you got a guy. You got a guy. He's really good.
Right.
All-time good.
So Ty Lue, there's really nothing much he can do about it. Rather than to kill him for what he isn't. I mean, what are you going to do? They don't play defense by the end of the game. It looked like they committed early, and then they said, to hell with it.
No, but he also didn't have them prepared to play in game 1. And so you set the tone. The tone is set in that first game, as it has been in every one of their first games. And, I mean, it's just it's an interesting study Boston is right now. To lose out on your 2 best players, to not have your 2 best players, and to score more points this postseason without Kyrie per 100 possessions in every game, it's nuts. I mean, that guy, it's so rare. We see it with Popovich. There are a few coaches around the league that you go, he makes a big difference. He's a guy, for years, Larry Brown was that guy where you're like, that's a different level guy right there. I remember one time talking to Leonard Hamilton about coaches in the NBA. Now, obviously, he did not have a good stint there, and he hated it. It wasn't for him. And some guys are college coaches, and he found out the tough way. It was a great opportunity. Handpicked by Michael Jordan, that's a cool thing, but he didn't like it. And I understand why, given the disciplinarian that he is and the kind of structure he wants and the rules that he has. It's a players' league. That's why it's so rare to find coaches who have the kind of impact, possession to possession, have to have quarter to quarter, season to season, as a Stevens or a Popovich or a Brown or others. One of the things that he talked about, Leonard said, well, you always knew there were a couple of coaches that might steal a win or 2 for their team. He said, but it's rare because pretty much everybody there knows the same things. We all know the deal, and the players make the adjustments a lot of times on the fly. He's like, there are very few exceptions. And I remember him talking about Larry Brown, and he's like, oh, that guy's he's really good. As much as he didn't want to, you don't want to prattle on.
Well, and as much as Larry moved around over the years, yes.
Right. But, it's interesting because that's a league where really good coaches and really knowledgeable guys can get fired just as easily. Like Doug Collins knows basketball as well, if not better, than almost anybody that we've ever heard in the announcer's booth, and has certainly been a good coach, but he's been fired everywhere he's ever been. he got run the hell out of Chicago.
Well, and if you don't have the superstars, not in Doug Collins' case, but if you don't have the superstars, then what are you going to do?
Well, you're going to lose.
Yeah. And you're going to get fired for losing.
Yeah.
Well, you're a great coach. Why aren't you a great coach here? Well, I don't have LeBron. I don't have, Kyrie. But the thing with Stevens, I think it might be easier for him in this circumstance to create structure because he doesn't have superstar players. You don't have to manage that type of person. Nobody's got a huge ego that's actually being run out in the rotation.
Not currently, no, but he did really well over the course of the season with Kyrie after, they lost Gordon Hayward and the first game, and just was like, okay, well, now grant you, it helps to have a star, but that team, and look at the development of a Tatum and the way that he's come on now, and that guy's, there's your star, by the way. Moving forward, we love to identify guys that are going to be the creme de la creme of the league once a LeBron retires and once whomever you want to put in that category.
Yeah,
once those
Steph, KD.
Yeah, once those guys walk away from the game, there's your star. Tatum is a beast and will be for a long time.
Well, the crazy thing is I was looking at the numbers last night just to, I went back and I watched extended highlights of this game in order to be prepared for segments such as this. I know that Lightning Capitals Game 3 ain't going to do it for you.
Right, but it was awesome.
But if you look at Morris, Horford, and Tatum last night, they make 15 shots and they miss 39.
Mm-hmm.
That's a horrid percentage from the field, and yet they beat Cleveland and they dispatch at Cleveland. But those are three key players who played big roles at different times. Horford in the fourth. Morris had a big basket with the yelling and all that crap too. And then
Marcus Smart's good.
Smart had a big sequence. Rozier had a big third quarter. I know it's all part of that big third quarter. But what's interesting is you look at the box score. They didn't shoot well from three. They didn't shoot well from the field. They hit their free throws.
So think about that. They didn't play well, and they did what they did to Cleveland.
Yeah, that's the thing that's crazy to me. And you look at the other side, and LeBron obviously showed out. Kevin Love played well. Korver shot well enough, but then nobody else for Cleveland. It speaks to the depth of Boston, and how is it that you can lose your two-star players and yet be infinitely deeper than Cleveland? That's just
they
crazy.
get a lot out of their guys. They do, and they make them defend. We get back to Cleveland doesn't defend anybody. So man,
6 guys in double figures for the Celtics last night.
Yeah, it's tip your cap stuff. By the way, this is going to be a nightmare for the NBA because here's what I do think will happen, and I'll be Big Daddy J in this thing to the window. I think Cleveland wins Game 3. I mean, they've got to throw everything they've got into Game 3. They'll be like the Lightning were last night. It's got to happen now.
Yeah.
You better see and feel the urgency from, in the case of hockey, when they drop the puck and basketball from the tip. You better feel that. You better know it, right? You got to see that imposed. Like last night in hockey, it was imposed. You could see that the Lightning were not going to. They could get beat, but they were not. It wasn't going to be for a lack of energy like we'd seen in games 1 and 2.
Right.
They didn't play perfect.
No, well, and in fact, that game's a lot closer than the score would indicate.
Yes, it was.
4-1. But one thing, when you're facing a team that believes, and Boston is much like Washington in this situation,
they
where,
believe.
They don't have the depth of talent that Tampa does, but the freedom of belief, you play over your heads.
It's just confidence, man. It's the whole thing in sport. It's a confidence. You get these run of the mill PGA Tour players that go on get hot for a weekend.
Webb Simpson
and win, but he's at least won the U.S. Open. He's got game. So I'm just talking about some schlep that wins the Houston Shell Open. You're like, who the hell? I've never even heard of Ted Smith, and he just won this tournament. Afterwards, it's always something clicked with me on Thursday. Just started feeling good standing over the ball, and really, I just couldn't wait to get to the golf course. That's belief. That's confidence. It's the thought that I can make this, I can execute this.
Well, and that's why briefly for Tampa's case last night, that was going to be the toughest one to get because you have to remind them that they're fallible because they're a team of destiny and they believe that they can't be stopped. So you have to remind them.
Yeah.
In a way,
it's the real world, man. This ain't a movie.
Right. So, so I'm okay that the game was closely contested because they didn't know that they could lose. It was proven to them that they could lose. I mean, if you think about Washington's case, they were down 0-2 in the first series. They won 4 straight. Then they beat their arch nemesis for the last decade. Finally, for the first time, they're in the conference finals for the first time. So now they're the prohibitive underdog in games 1 and 2 and win those 2 games. So the pressure has not been on their shoulders in forever and a day.
That's right.
Now the pressure's back on their shoulders, and that's what Cleveland has to do in the NBA is in Game 3. You would think LeBron's going to get his fair share of whistles, too. It's the home crowd.
Well, they'll be very physical, too. They're going to try to retort.
Right. JR can't go, obviously, 0 for 7 again. I don't think he will. But that's a key. Listen now, you got to depend on that guy. That's the situation they're in. That J.R. Smith matters greatly as to whether or not they're going to win a basketball game.
Of course he does. It's sad. That's why he's leaving.
It's LeBron's fault.
It is. He didn't orchestrate that roster all that well, right? But he's going to leave. He will have done for them what nobody else could. He did bring them a championship in Cleveland, and he will be adored forevermore, as he should be. He has taken more teams to the finals than they have a right to with that sorry-ass roster. He's done it on 2 different campaigns. So, it will be interesting to see where he chooses. Does he go? Please don't go to Houston.
Houston, huh?
Think about it. If you want to challenge Golden State, is there anybody in the East? Maybe Philadelphia. Well, it'd be Philadelphia or Boston. He's not going to Boston.
No, he's not. The look of doing that and joining Kyrie in Boston
he's not. No, it's not.
You did that with D Wade, so you can't do that.
It's either Philadelphia or he rides out to the West. And if he goes to the West, he's got a choice of the Lakers or Houston. If you go to Houston, you can do what KD did. And by the way, that series, they better hope tonight that Houston wins that game, because otherwise that's going to be a sweep. And these 2 series are going to end, and we're going to have like a week of us just standing around for a foregone conclusion.
Yeah, for a 5-game final.
Yeah, Boston's not going to win that series. It's already, by the way, it feels like it's already over. The only intrigue is if Boston can actually conclude this postseason by getting to the finals, despite all that they've had to overcome. It really is quite amazing. And is this the final year of LeBron in Cleveland? The other story is, of course, all the metrics told you Houston was the only team that could truly compete with Golden State. And it sure didn't look like that. It sure didn't look like that once Golden State cared. And here's the deal. We all said this. You could be a novice fan. You can be a hardcore numbers guy that watches the league every night or anything in between. You didn't have to be a Mensa to understand the deal with Golden State and Houston. Who was going to stop KD was everything, right? They don't have an answer. There's nothing you can do. What is D'Antoni going to do? What can he chalk up to help stop that? Because if you try to stop KD, well, they've got other good players. I mean, and all of them can shoot. They're everywhere you look.
Yeah. See, I think, and legacy is obviously a really important thing in the NBA, and everybody loves to talk about legacy and blah, 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 blah. I would love, because of the coverage it would get and the storyline it would create, for LeBron to go to Oklahoma City and form a super team there and take that away from KD. Completely undercut the first part of his career and see if he can't win a title for the people of Oklahoma City and dedicate it to them and become their new hero.
So he would be a hero in Cleveland and Oklahoma City.
And in Miami, too. Yeah. Whereas KD, sure.
He'll never be the biggest hero in Miami, though. That's Dwayne Wade.
Of course not.
Yeah.
But I mean, he was obviously a big part for those second and third titles.
Yeah.
But, in order to take that part of KD's legacy away, he goes and helps Russ, and they go bring in another star or two. That would just be fantastic television.
Well, he gets to crack-a-lackin' on that dream here real soon, I think, because I don't think Cleveland's coming back
by this weekend.
Yeah, I think that's going to be kitty bar the door there. They're in trouble. Hey, so Willie Taggart's talking about the standalone, the facility that Jimbo was clamoring for. Willie's talking about it. I'll talk about it next. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag Sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings, or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag Savings.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Sea Quarters Marina is home to several great charter services. All charters are customized based upon the types of fishing opportunities available and the type of fishing the customer requests. The Northwest Gulf Coast offers a variety of different angling adventures thanks to unspoiled back county islands and crystal clear flats. For more information regarding charters, call Sea Quarters Marina at 697-8400 or online at seaquartersmarina.com.
Games for Less, the only locally owned and operated gaming store in town, has Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used video games and game systems. The future of video gaming is at Games for Less, where they have both the PS4 and Xbox One. It's time to trade in your old systems and elevate your gaming experience now. Games for Less is also your headquarters for the best in retro gaming. Atari 2600, original Nintendo, Super NES, or Sega Genesis, you name it. They got it at Games for Less. Games for Less, the Super Walmart Shopping Center on Appalachian Parkway. Give them a call today at 850-219-3535. That's Games for Less.
Fonville Lewis Messer McConaughey sponsors Braves baseball so that all of you can enjoy the action. Ever since the days of Hank Aaron and Dale Murphy, we've been Tallahassee's home run hitting law firm. And because we don't get paid unless we win, we want to win every case as much as Chipper Jones wanted to win every game. So when you're injured, don't just trust any law firm to handle your case. Make the call to the bullpen for a trusted closer. To see our stats on the back of our baseball card, visit wrongfullyinjured.com. Fonville Lewis Messer McConaughey. Personal injury law is all we do.
Keeping a flower garden or patio beautiful all season shouldn't mean keeping a garden hose running all season. Which is why the Home Depot now has big, blooming quart Rio Dipladenia, 3 for just $12. They're bold, beautiful, drought-resistant flowers that keep blooming all season without a lot of water. So, even if you forget, they'll forgive. Quart Rio Dipladenia, 3 for just $12, now at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. While supplies last, selection varies by store.
Save more with Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Hey, Todd, Liberty Mutual just saved me $782.
Liberty did what?
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
Maybe I should switch to Liberty Mutual.
Visit us online to... Hey, stop echoing. Sorry. Visit us online to get a quote, and you could save $782. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Based on a recent countrywide new customer survey, coverage is underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company, Equal Housing Insurer.
You're locked in with the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
ESPN Radio. New deal on the pillow stuff that I tell you about. Hey, so listen, seriously, I won't go broke if they pull their advertising with us. I won't lose out on a ton of money. My kids might not be able to go to college, but I will be all right. You're not under a ton of pressure, but think about those kids. So if you're on the verge, you're thinking, Cameron's been telling me about my pillow for a couple weeks now, and I'm not sure I should get it. I don't need to help him out any more than I already do. Think about my children and how it is that you could help them go to college, Florida State, hopefully. But we got to sell some pillows. We got some pillows. We got to get them moving. Tom, we got to get these pillows out the door.
We got to move the pillows.
We've got to move some damn pillows. And here, I'm going to entice you. Free shipping for this fantastic pillow. It's a good deal, man. The folks at My Pillow want you to start feeling great even before you've made it onto one of their pillows. They're just going to ship it to you for free.
Coffee's for closers only.
So let's get to ordering these pillows, people. I get a report every week from the people at My Pillow. They're like, hey, you moved some pillows last week. Good job. Other times they're like, where the hell are the pillows? You're not selling us a damn thing. And these meetings can be brutal.
You know where these pillows are? In my office.
They're sitting here.
Right.
I'd like to ship them out for free to the people in Tallahassee, but you're not convincing them to do it. We'll find somebody who can, Cameron. And they're ruthless that way. I kind of like their direct honesty, but...
Well, what about our friends in Orlando? I mean, there's a lot of you listening from Orlando. Come on. Just use the code. Make sure we get the credit, huh?
That's right. 2 premium MyPillows for 1 low price and free shipping. We're doubling down on the goodness, kids. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the 2-pack special, enter promo code 979ESPN. You'll get 2 MyPillow premium pillows for 1 low price plus free shipping. Go to MyPillow, click on the 2-pack special. It's now a 2-pack special. I'm offering up a 2-pack special. In that meeting, I said, hey, perhaps it's on your end. Perhaps the special isn't special enough. You know what I'm saying? And they went, what would you say we do? I said, why don't we give away 2 of them? 2 for the price of 1 plus free shipping. They said, we'll do that, but you better move these pillows. So, guys, let's move these pillows.
Special 2 packs for 1.
You'll get 2 MyPillow premium pillows for 1 low price, free shipping. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the 2-pack special. Seriously, that's a good deal. And I do like the pillow. That's why I talk about it. Enter the promo code 979ESPN. 800-944-6596 if you want to call the number. 800-944-6596. Use the promo code. When they pick up, they're going to go MyPillow, and you're going to go promo code 979ESPN. Give me that 2-pack special, darling.
Isn't that what did Biggie in? The 2-pack special?
Oh, good job, MyPillow. Thanks for taking my advice and offering up an even more alluring opportunity to order some MyPillows from MyPillow.com. Good stuff.
How's your sleep, buddy?
It's good. I do sleep on the MyPillow. Slept on it last night. Enjoyed it thoroughly. Woke up rested. Wanting to lay on that pillow even longer. I did want to lay on that pillow longer. I do every morning. But alas, we've got responsibility. Texas and Alabama have agreed to a home-and-home. Did you see that? The Longhorns will host Alabama in 2022. That's only 4 years from now, so we're not waiting. Yeah.
This isn't one of those 2037 deals.
No, this is a good deal here. Texas will host Alabama in 2022, and then they'll travel to Tuscaloosa in 2023. And what Texas did was cancel the non-conference game it had already scheduled for September the 9th. And you know who that was? UCF. They told UCF, get the hell out of here. We're replacing you with Alabama. So now UCF is upset. They miss out on the college football playoff a year ago because partly schedule was a problem. They're like, we've got Texas down the horizon. And then Texas flipped them a double bird today.
Yeah, Texas said we want to play a real champion.
That hurts. Now they'll have to find a new opponent. By the way, earlier this spring, did you know this? Michigan dumped a 2020 series against Virginia Tech.
Really?
I did not know that. They were going to play Virginia Tech in 2020 and 2021, and Michigan opted out. That hurts, man. And UCF is scheduled to host Texas, by the way. USF is scheduled to host Texas on September the 3rd, 2022. That's part of a 3-game series they have. Bama apparently was going to be part of this, and it was going to be a 3-game series, but Texas, I guess Alabama couldn't get out of their Utah State game, so they just decided on these 2, so USF still gets that game.
Good job, Utah State, with the contracts, huh?
Yeah. So the big game survives for USF against Texas, but UCF gets screwed, and in lieu of the UCF-Texas game, we are, as college football fans, getting a much better game. Let's just be honest. Alabama-Texas is just much more enjoyable.
It should be, yes.
Well, brand name-wise, I'm not saying Texas would have won. I mean, they do a whole lot of nothing all the time.
What do you think is most likely? Herman is the head coach of Texas. Saban
in 2022?
Saban's the head coach of Alabama. Both, neither.
Both, I think.
Both are. So Saban is still rocking and rolling.
I don't get any sense. I actually have some real insight on this. I'm friends with somebody who works daily with Nick Saban and worked here at Florida State. And a lot of you old-timers will know exactly who that is, but I'm not going to throw him out there. He's his right-hand man, so I can reach out to him when I need something. Well, sort of. Not that he'd give me anything that he's not supposed to give me, you know what I'm saying? But then there's somebody else that I work with SiriusXM that went to Nick's house and interviewed him, a lengthy piece in the off-season. And he told me that the conversation he had with Saban convinced him that Nick's nowhere close to retirement. Nowhere close. Like, his wife likes him out of the house.
Right.
She says he would know what to do with himself because he's a perfectionist, and this allows him to channel that and work hard every day at something he absolutely loves. And, of course, they're winning, so it's not like they're going to rush him out the door. he's got enough cachet to last another 10 years, one would think.
Well, and he's probably got another title coming in the next year or two, doesn't he, with a quarterback?
So. Exactly. So, I mean, all they do is win titles. My guess is he's not going to retire anytime soon. I know that's relative because when you're 70, whatever he is, what is he now, 74?
I think something like that. He and Mac Brown are the same age.
They don't look anything alike, do they?
I always bring that up.
Yeah. No, it's amazing. It's like bringing up Leonard Hamilton and how good he looks at his age compared to everybody else who's that age.
Yeah,
like,
I believe Larinaga is
down
younger.
in Miami. Yeah, Larinaga is younger than Hamilton, and
Yeah.
he looks 40 years older. But no, so Saban loves it, and one of the fascinating aspects of Nick Saban, and I do find this fascinating. I know we roll our eyes incessantly about Alabama's success. We tire of talking about them over and over and over again, but it's true that not just anybody can do that. I know Alabama has resources. I know they've committed. They're all in. Everything he wants, he gets. That's true. These are distinct advantages that Nick Saban and Alabama have over everybody else playing college football. But we've seen Alabama's been committed to football for a long, long time. I mean, it's kind of they're part and parcel to college football. I mean, the Bear, et cetera. And not everybody who rolled through there had this kind of success. So it is largely the man, not just the resources.
Nick is 66, by the way.
Okay, so nowhere close to.
So is Mac, though. Mac is 66
He
years
looks
old.
74. Maybe that's why I thought that. Yeah, so Nick is only 66?
Yeah.
Well, hell.
Right.
We're screwed. I was hoping he was in his 70s so that just Father Time would demand that he retire.
It apparently will not.
I wasn't rooting for his physical demise. I'm just saying at some point you slow down a little bit and maybe you're just not up to the challenge anymore.
Yeah.
Football is, by and large, and he is the exception, a young man's game. It is ruthless on the schedule. I mean, just in terms of travel and the things you have to do year-round to sustain greatness in college football, which is something Willie's doing right now. Speaking of Willie Taggart, if you missed it earlier in the show, we had this conversation. I'm not surprised at all to see him kind of go on the offensive here. When you're a new coach and the question arises, remember, time and place. Tom and I never had a problem with Jimbo Fisher saying that he thought upgrades to the facilities were necessary. We didn't have a problem lobbying for it. We didn't have a problem with him saying as much about the standalone football facility. It was timing. When you ask for things, when you bring things up in conversation matters. Anybody who's married certainly knows that. So that's the deal, man. You can't get your ass kicked at home by somebody with inferior talent and somehow bring up the issue of facilities. It just can't happen. You can't be in the midst of a season in which you're losing 6 games and you've got the kind of talent that Florida State does and you were predicted to do what Florida State was predicted to do and then somehow deflect constantly by talking about facilities, time and place. Now would be the time and the place over there at Amelia Island because you're asked a question. And when you get asked a specific question and there are no other ancillary items going on, you can answer it the way that you'd like and that sends a message. Willie said, quote, unquote, talking to you guys who got in the car, not those of you who've been listening for all 3 hours, we need an upgrade big time. I just don't think we need to Band-Aid anything anymore. Do it right. Do what's best for Florida State University. We can't get behind, that's for sure, and nobody's stopping. They're only moving forward. Clemson's in our conference. That's a great quote, by the way. Miami is doing their facility. It's much needed. Where we are now, it's not efficient. That's probably one of the biggest issues. It's not only outdated, but there's no efficiency on how you can get things done. You see schools who've done it, they're doing pretty well. And a lot of our competitors are doing that. We're at Florida State University. We want what's best for our kids. We want to win championships. Everything about this is smart. He is really good at this sort of thing. Notice that he talks through the mouth of someone who loves and is impassioned for Florida State and the kids playing the sport. You notice that the conversation isn't about him. It's about the university and we are Florida State. What are we doing here sort of thing. It is. It's like my phrase on the show all the time. What are we doing here? Yeah, we could do this other thing, but what are we trying to do? Let's be honest, right? He's saying, we're Florida State. Well, we don't need to dick around here. We're Florida State. Let's do what we should do.
Right. He's saying, he's not going with the tact of they haven't done anything around here in a long time.
Oh, sure, when I first started, they did a few things, but that was ages ago. We're way behind. They haven't done anything around here in a long time.
Right.
Wonderful, Jimbo. Yeah, no, this is a very different approach to the same thing, and he's saying the same thing just in a better way.
Well, and this is where I think this was from a couple of months ago, but I talked about it and I said, if it doesn't work out, I want a couple of things from Willie. I want him to advance the program recruiting-wise. It's tough to do over what Jimbo did for most of his career, but certainly towards the end it diminished. So you want to have good players. In case it doesn't work, you want players to be available
so
to the next guy.
doesn't have to rebuild it like they're doing at Florida right now.
But advance the program the way Jimbo did. The IPF wasn't here before Jimbo, it was afterwards. And you had protocols in place for on-the-field, off-the-field training stuff where it was better than he found it. At worst, can Willie make it better than he found it? And there's no better leverage than now. When he just got off the booster tour, season tickets had gone nuts, 60,000+ people in the stadium for the spring game.
Bit of advice for Willie or any other coach that's in a position like this. The problem Jimbo had is he had no vision. He had no long-term vision for what he wanted. He just wanted things because the other guys had them. So if he saw something he liked and we didn't have it, he ran in there and told him, I want that. And they said, okay, well, how are we going to do that? Would you rather have that or would you like this over here? You said you wanted this as well. We've already started fundraising for that. You want this more than that? Should we change our tact? Well, I want it. I need it. They've got it at Texas A&M. They've got it at Arkansas. They got it at Clemson. I need it. Okay, duly noted. It's on the list. And then he'd hear about something else through his agent, or he'd visit somewhere, or he'd be talking to another coach. You know what we got? And then the next thing you know, he'd come in a month later. Hey, I need this. Well, now, Jimbo, you've come in here and asked for this and this. We're giving you this. We're building that IPF, and we're going to build this other thing. You got to prioritize here. But there was never a vision for, hey, when I'm here 15 years from now, what will this place look like? When I'm here 10 years from now, what is this going to look like? And does it play into the plans that we have as to how to build a program and sustain it? So it's not just wanting things. Everybody wants something. I want lots of things. But there's got to be a methodology. There's got to be a plan in place where you get everybody on board pulling their weight to meet a common goal. So you go in there and you say, I need a standalone facility. And you don't screw around with it. You don't say, well, we could do some upgrades here. We could do. He's right. That's Band-Aiding it. Don't do that. Say what you want, mean what you say what you mean. But have a plan because it doesn't stop here. After they greenlight this thing, and they are, when they greenlight this thing to build the standalone, you're not going to stop asking for things, but you need to know what you want, why you want it, and how soon should we have it. And we'll see. Let's see. Right, this is an easy one. This falls in your lap. It was already a subject matter.
But the interesting part, of course, is from a couple of weeks ago, speaking with Ira, he cited that he thinks it's going to be a standalone and not the or the upgraded, renovated Moore Center.
Right.
Which is what it sounded like when you talked with Stan last late summer, early fall when you were with SiriusXM, and it seemed like Stan was pointing in the direction of, well, let's just redo the Moore Center. This is a wonderful facility. It's attached to the stadium, et cetera, et cetera. It seemed like that was what the budget called for.
Yeah.
They didn't have enough money to do the standalone.
That's right.
So if we're going to get it done now, let's get it done here at the Moore Center. But then somewhere along the way, it changed. And now the likelihood is the standalone facility.
I think so.
And Willie's going in for the kill?
Yeah, but I also think there's good reason for this. Now, see, here, this is important. We know personally of individuals that spoke to Jimbo Fisher. These are heavy hitters. These are people with money, people in a position to want to give their money back to the university. Those meetings didn't always go well. Those meetings sometimes left those people scratching their head. This is where Jimbo's got to get better. Maybe his idea was, I don't have to get better at Texas A&M because they're going to do it anyhow. They're going to do anything I want to do. So why don't I go to a place like that where I don't have to glad hand all the time and shake hands on the golf course and go and care, pretend I care about meeting these fans. Willie genuinely cares about meeting these fans and loves Florida State University, and it will show, and these people will write checks. So if he's smart, and I think he is, certainly when it comes to these kinds of things, Willie's going to have a plan, and Willie's going to have sit-downs with people that can help make those dreams and plans play out a little faster than not, and he's going to get those checks, and he seems to like these things, tour stops, these booster events, opportunities to get in front of Florida State alumni and fans and talk about a shared passion. which is Florida State University. And if you have that and you have that gift where people are drawn in by you, whatever it might be, you're affable, whatever it is, there's charisma there, you got to utilize it.
Well, and you're galvanizing a fan base to in my age group. You're going to have your heavy hitters, and there's going to be a certain, part of the demographic that they were already well-to-do or they're going to find a lot of money. And, of course, you got to capitalize on those people, but you got to talk to people my age who are just branching out, getting into the middle class, and now they have some money put aside.
A little bit of income they can throw.
And they can throw
back
it back
to
up to the school if they care to. And if you can do that in the 5 figures of people, not in actual donations per person, but if you can do that for 10 or 20,000 Noles who never thought that it was worth it to spend money back at Florida State, but you change their minds, now you have a new base of income at people of my demographic, and you can combine that with what you do with the big boosters, which by and large, if you need something, they're going to cut a check. They care too much. They're here. They have skyboxes.
Notice that he referenced we want to win championships. So he's marrying the idea of winning championships with facility upgrades and larger sums of money coming to the university equals championships. Look at Clemson. He mentions Clemson in there. And then he throws in Miami's doing it now. This is a salesman's pitch, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's a sense of urgency in it. There is a call to action, and there is a clear-cut asking of the money. I mean, maybe not in that press conference, maybe not in that interview session with the reporters at Amelia Island, but basically that's what he's saying here. He said it over and over again. Quote, it's like, what are we doing? We're Florida State. I don't think that's the best thing to do, talking about Band-Aiding it. That's kind of what we've been doing for the longest time. Again, you can do all of that. It's just not very efficient. I don't want a Band-Aid. I want to do what's right for the future of the Florida State University football program. I do know that it needs to be done, and we've got to figure out a way to get it done somehow, some way. But I'm sure we'll come to a consensus, quote unquote. So he is a politician in this sense. He's politicking, but he's also doing so with an even hand and understanding that he's appealing to a common passion and common ground, and he understands that this isn't his decision to make. He needs the help of others, and he's willing to have a conversation about what it would take to come to that consensus.
If he echoes this point in his weekly call-in show after we've lost 2 of our first 5 games, we'll rip him just the same.
Oh, we'll rip his ass.
But he's doing it.
It really should never come up in a weekly call-in show in season. It really shouldn't. I mean, there might be a weird set of circumstances where it could come up once, maybe. But this is the time of year that you do this. You do that on the tour while you're talking to people and you got your bass and you're rah-rah on that thing, and you're having get-togethers and handshakings going on, and share a beer with a guy who's got a little bit of cash and talk to him about best way to utilize that cash to help this program win championships. I got you. Do that then, and we're all on board. And if reporters hear that and they're there and they're taking note of that and documenting that, we'd read that and smile and say, that's what you do. There'd be no problem with that. It's just don't get beat 35-3 and talk to me about facilities. Just don't do it, ever. In fact, don't go beat somebody 35-3 and talk to me about facilities. I don't want to hear it after the games. The games are the games. The season's the season. We're all in. Now is the time. It's it's the off season that you do these things. And so anyhow, I was not surprised. It did not raise an eyebrow. Many of you emailed and asked, well, you guys got on Jimbo about this. No. Let's not engage in revisionist history. What we got on him about was timing. When you bring these things up, the tact with which you bring them up, how you say things that you want, how you state these things. That was everything. It wasn't that we had a problem with him asking for more. Every head coach should. That's Tom and I's mantra on this show. Like, we want a coach who's going to continue to ask for more. Now, we also want a strong administration that says no occasionally. There's a chain of command here. The head coach isn't the president. And if the president says we can't do that, and there's a good reason for it, then you move on.
Well, and the tone is important, too. And this tone isn't, I'm running to the media because they've told me no. And that's what the other tone was. Guys, you need to hear the real story. They're not helping this program out, but I can do it.
Right.
That's not not the tact here,
no.
at least for now. Now, we'll see if the Moore Center is the thing that's green-lit, things might get a little interesting, but I doubt that's the way they're going to go here.
I don't think so. I don't think that's the way they're going to go. We'll find out. Jeff Cameron Show, wrapping it up momentarily. 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings, or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag savings.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
$500. Remember, the FAA requires all commercial use drone operators to be licensed.
Hi, honey. How was your day?
It was fine. Pretty uneventful. How about you?
Well, I called the auditors this afternoon and made an appointment for one to come out to the house.
Wait, what? Have you lost your mind? Auditors? Why would you call them? Now we have to find our tax returns, paycheck stubs, and financial records, not to mention all those forms. Good grief.
Relax, honey. It's not that kind of auditor.
It's not?
No. I called the City of Tallahassee Utilities and scheduled a free energy audit.
Energy audit?
Right. It's when an energy auditor from our own utilities comes out to the house, examines the structure, and checks our energy and water systems, and then recommends changes we might make to save energy, water, and money.
And you said it's free?
Absolutely. It's free from the City of Tallahassee Utilities, our own utilities.
Sounds good to me. Let's save some money.
If you're a City of Tallahassee residential, electric, and natural gas customer, you can schedule a free energy audit. Call 891-4YOU. That's 891-4968. And schedule your free energy audit at a time most convenient for you. A message from the City of Tallahassee Utilities, your own utilities.
It's not easy being a mom, but my Chrysler Pacifica makes soccer practice a little more fun. I can binge all my shows at the available Uconnect Theater, open the Stow and Go seating to grab my hidden romance novel, or just jam out to the radio.
Hey, Mom, what was that song?
Huh? What song? I didn't hear a song.
Chrysler Pacifica. It's loaded with attitude. Chrysler is a registered trademark of FCA US LLC.
This Day in Sports brought to you by Superlube. Superlube, 19 Tallahassee area locations. Quick, convenient, no appointment necessary.
This day in sports history. May 16th, 1985. Michael Jordan was named the NBA Rookie of the Year. He would beat out the likes of Charles Barkley, Akeem Olajuwon, Sam Perkins, and Sam Bowie to win the award. Jordan averaged 28.2 points, 6.5 rebounds, 5.9 assists, and 2.4 steals per game that season, becoming the first rookie to lead his team in 4 categories.
Is your car's AC keeping you cool? With Tallahassee's summer season here to stay, stop in now to any auto and tire super service center and take advantage of their $69 AC recharge special. That's right. Visit any auto and tire super service center and recharge your car's AC for just $69, keeping you and your family cool all summer long. Visit any of their 5 auto and tire super service centers, locally owned and operated for nearly 40 years.
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's Balls Nick Wednesday. Brought to you by TNT Supercenter, 14585 US Highway 19, Thomasville, Georgia. Your one-stop shop for all your outdoor entertainment. the gods.
Tons of day baseball today. So if you were racing home to be able to watch this evening's games, you don't have much in the way to choose from. And even those games, some of them are in jeopardy. I'll tell you what you do have for this evening momentarily. Should also tell you this before I get to it. Before their game against the Blue Jays this afternoon, the Mets realized they had a vacant locker room in between Jay Bruce and Jacob deGrom. And they decided they wanted to do something with that space. They did what anybody has ever done with any open space. They cooked hot dogs. Pretty cool. They installed a hot dog roller in the vacant locker between Jacob deGrom and Jay Bruce. There are 4 hot dogs currently cooking in that locker before the game this afternoon. It's a day game. Who doesn't want a hot dog anyhow, said deGrom. And it's going to become a permanent fixture. The clubhouse hot dogs in the vacant locker for the Mets moving forward.
Well, now that Harvey's not there, I'm sure they'll actually have a fair share to go around for everybody. And with Bartolo gone, that's certainly the case.
You know, this isn't one of those hoity-toity moments where I get to shame you all for still eating all kinds of burgers and steaks and stuff like that. I'm not doing that here. But in addition to giving that up a couple years back, I don't eat hot dogs either. And I never would have guessed this. It's what I miss the most. I mean, seriously, I don't eat pork, so you would think it would be bacon. It's not bacon. It's not pork chops. I miss hot dogs a lot. And they were always the thing that everybody knew were bad for you. You knew that hot dogs. Yeah. Everybody knew hot dogs were terrible for you. And it's just weird. I mean, I never really thought about it. When I gave all that stuff up, I thought, oh, it's going to be hard. How am I going to do this? How am I going to not have a burger? How am I not going to have a steak? I mean, who doesn't love a steak? I loved steaks. Nope. Every now, I used to tell the story that when I was so nicotine addicted and dipped for 20 years, that the brain is so powerful and addiction is so powerful that, over a year later, I'd be driving down the road and a mental picture in my mind's eye would just pop up. I'd see a can of dip. Every time I passed certain gas stations, especially those that I typically went and purchased my cans of dip at. Kids, don't start dipping because this is what I'm talking about. It's that hard. So like a year or two, I would drive past those places and I would see the can. Sometimes I would take it a step further. I could picture myself taking out a pinch to put into my cheek, be able to have that dip. I could picture myself dipping. And then eventually it just went away. It took a long time, and I haven't had that thought in ages. I haven't thought about it at all. I don't see it. I'm still thinking about hot dogs. I'm still thinking about freaking hot dogs. Every time I see somebody eating a hot dog, I go, ooh, I bet that's delicious.
And, buddy, for opening day at the Corner Pocket,
I know. All those hot dogs, they were everywhere.
Oh, my God, delicious. They did a great job, too. They got good kinds, because there could be a crappy hot dog.
Oh, yeah. No, I was a hot dog aficionado. I agree with you, man. And ballpark dogs are where it's at, too. Like, it's very hard to recreate at your house the kinds of joy that you feel in your heart when you have a dog at the park. I have one of those apps, Ever or whatever it's called, where they'll pop up and show you your phone, your camera roll from 8 years ago, 10 years ago, whatever it is. And they'll give you the picture of the day. And yesterday's picture was me and my brother John in Atlanta for the Pirates-Braves game. And I'm holding a giant hot dog.
Oh, man.
It just looked delicious.
Yeah, upstairs, I couldn't think of the Hank Aaron level. Finally, that was a tough one for me. I'm getting old now.
That's okay.
I've got to learn how to power through this stuff when I get old. How do you do it, man?
It's tough.
I'm so impressed now that I'm learning.
Coffee. Lots of coffee.
But they had a hot dog station, and it was a first-class station. I know they're not known for it.
The fact that they even have one is glorious. I mean, you got to do it.
All the toppings, like things you never even considered that you could put on a hot dog. Now, I strayed away from that.
I put some jalapenos on there, though?
No.
I used to do that sometimes. A little bit of jalapeno.
I do love jalapeno. The older I get, the more I love jalapenos.
Oh, well, the more you like a lot of spicy things. You know what I did over the weekend?
Jalapeno peppers.
Peppers. I'll tell you something that I did over the weekend that I never do. And, well, I shouldn't say I never do, but now I'm doing more and more, is I'm just throwing things on my food that I know I loathed. I know I didn't like it.
Onions?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah.
I throw them on there all the time.
How good are onions,
Oh,
man?
well, yeah. I'm throwing Green peppers, Tom. Freaking hate green peppers.
Yep.
My whole life. Hate them. They're freaking disgusting. There were some green peppers in this thing that I was eating. It had some curry and green pepper and other lots of peppers. And I went, I'm going to throw those suckers on there. I threw them on my rice. I put all kinds of onions and peppers and there were things in there I didn't even know what they were. Some form of vegetable, and loved it.
In general, onions and peppers on anything. It
Just
goes
add
well.
them to it, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like sausage, onions, and peppers?
I don't eat sausage, Tom. You served it up.
Yeah, I know.
You served it up.
That's your problem.
Let's do probables. Here we go. Fire it up.
It's time for, how you say, with the pitching, probables?
I think if I were listening to me, I'd go, well, it's not helping, fat ass. You might as well go back to eating steak. Well, that's the beer. That's the beer, guys. I'm not giving that up. That's the problem. Yankees Nationals, CC Sabathia. Speaking of hefty. And Max Scherzer. Good matchup right there. Dodgers Marlins. Walker Buehler.
Trapper Keeper.
I like that guy's name is Walker Buehler. Caleb Smith goes for the Marlins. He's good, by the way. The Marlins got themselves a good youngin'. A's Red Sox, Trevor Cahill, Chris Sale. Cubs Braves, Tyler Chatwood, Brandon McCarthy. Astros Angels, Justin Verlander, and Garrett Richards. I always bet against Garrett Richards.
Just because his name is Garrett Richards?
He also is the definition of average. He's just everything about him. There's nothing impressive about him. I don't even know how he's in the damn league. He's a ground ball specialist. If there are two people, he gets wins. If they're not, then he gives up 15 hits.
Garrett Richards sounds like the name of a
average-ass pitcher.
A career substitute teacher.
Just call Garrett Richards and get him in here. We need him for math. Miss Bolova pulled out.
How unfortunate.
Good work, Tom. Good work, Matthew. I believe the Front Row Knowles.
That's what they do.
They're good. That's a good show.
They run Wednesdays at 6.
I like to tune in to the Front Row Knowles on my way home to distract me from the thought of a hot dog.
And then we'll have Braves baseball after that if the weather cooperates and such.
Don't forget, if you're driving and you're thinking my neck is achy, a really good pillow could help you out. Go to mypillow.com and use the promo code 979ESPN. Be well, everybody.